All right, are we good? Are we live? I think we are. Hello all and welcome back to the Women's Football Chat Live. You join us live this evening for Champions League quarter-final action as Arsenal take on Chelsea. Normally all domestic Champions League ties aren't the most exciting, but that is definitely different when these two sides meet. Probably the fiercest rivalry in women's football, and we expect today to be nothing different. Arsenal have had the better of Chelsea on both occasions so far this season, but we always know Chelsea can show up for the big games. In spite of an injury crisis at the moment, it's set to be a very exciting game of football. So thanks everyone that is joining us this evening. And hopefully we're tracked to a great game. We've just witnessed a fantastic end-to-end thriller. And the underdogs really in that tie coming out the stronger side. Wolfsburg at home though. Arsenal now at home in this one. Arguably going into this one as favourites. Should be a great game.
Yeah, should be a brilliant game. As you say, we've just seen another classic played out between two top teams, and I expect this one to be exactly the same. Two sides that always produce a dramatic meeting when they do match up, and I think tonight will be absolutely massive. As you say, Arsenal, with the home advantage this evening, they have to get a result. It's what we always say in these Champions League fixtures. Get the result in your home leg, and then don't give yourself any work to do it away from home. It's always nice having the home fixture second. Chelsea know that if they walk away tonight with some sort of result, they are in a good position with the being at Stamford Bridge next week. For Arsenal, they will want to be ahead on aggregate going into that match at the Bridge. But I'm expecting another brilliant encounter between the two. Both these sides have had difficult patches this season, but right now Chelsea are in the middle of that, while Arsenal are in very, very fine form, and that is something the Gunners have got to call upon today. They've played very, very well of late. They're banging form. They've won 9 on the bounce now in all competitions. They look really, really good. They've got to take advantage of the fact that Chelsea are struggling with injuries right now and are out of form.
Yeah, absolutely. Arsenal missing a couple of their own. Nothing to the extent of Chelsea's injury woes, but so a couple key players missing with that. Let's take a look at the lineups for tonight's game. We'll begin with the hosts here as we are at the Emirates Stadium, and your Arsenal team is as follows. A 4-2-3-1 for Slager's side today. In goal, Anna Kaborba keeps her spot. There's been some conversation there about rotating those two goalkeepers. At the moment, though, Borba staying in over Van Domselaar. In the back four, Fox and McKay, the full-backs, and neither of their first-choice centre-halves available, so it's Wuba Moy partnering Leia Cadena. In the midfield, a pivot of Mariona Cardente alongside Kim Little. Kim Little nearing on 100 Champions League appearances. Russo then in the 10. Mead on one wing, Kelly on the other, who was so instrumental at the Emirates at the weekend. And leading the line, it's Stina Blackstenius. Lots of threat then for Arsenal, but a key miss really for me is Olivia Smith. They've still got great attacking players in there, but how much of an impact is not having Smith in this kind of game?
Yeah, I think Smith is a blow. Again, a very direct player, a player with a really good turn of pace that would run at Chelsea and I think would cause them problems. So that is a big miss, but as you say, I think it's an attack that is still full of quality. Chloe Kelly comes into the back of this after a very good game against West Ham. Blackstenius has also enjoyed a good run recently, and Mead, again, I thought Ursi was really, really good in that game at Stamford Bridge between the two sides in the WSL. So, yeah, it's an attack that's still full of quality. It's an attack that will look to take advantage of Chelsea defensively, where the Blues have conceded a few goals of late. And yeah, it's a very, very strong Arsenal side backed by the Emirates. They will hope tonight to get a result. It's, as you say, they'd love to have Williamson. They'd love to have Olivia Smith available, and Steph Catley as well. I think they're the players that we're missing, but it's still a really good 11.
Yeah, absolutely. As for the visitors then, Chelsea lining up in what looks like a 4-2-3-1 this evening. In goal, it's Hannah Hampton. A back four of Bronze, Buchanan, Germer and Berman in at left back. In the midfield, a three of Walsh, Cuthbert and Sioka Nusken. On one wing, Alyssa Thompson. On the other, Sondi Baltimore. And leading the line, it's Lauren James. Chelsea really short on attacking options. They're really short on options across the pitch, really. So it's kind of predictable that this was going to be the 11. Is there any surprises for you in that team?
No, not really. As you say, I think that it's an 11 that we knew we were going to see, and on paper it's a very, very strong 11. It's not ideal with the likes of Germer still coming back from injury, the likes of Lauren James as well, but they're thrown in. These are the big games. These are the games they can deliver in, and hopefully they will be able to get through the 90 minutes. It's still a strong 11 for Chelsea. Obviously, the concern is the squad depth and the bench, but yeah, no surprises really as to the 11. There aren't many other options options to put into certain positions. So I think the 11's pretty nailed on. It is still strong. It's got big game players. It's got world-class quality. It's going to be about how long can that 11 last? How many minutes has each player got in the tank? Because that squad depth is, you look at the two benches, and towards the end of this game, Arsenal could really take advantage of a bit of a better bench.
Yeah, for me, it all depends on certain players' work rate. I think Sonia Baltimore's a big one. Yes, it's an attacking position for her today. And while we could see her drop into, it could definitely be a 5-back, but I think with Bronze, because Bronze in there, it's more likely to be a back four that's quite defensively solid, and then Baltimore out wide. I think she's got to work much harder today than she did in the London City game. If she does, and she does, I think in the League Cup, she was absolutely excellent at being combative, at being physical, and working really hard.
Yeah.
But I think in the game on Saturday against London City, we really saw her struggle, and I don't think the work rate was there. It's got to be better today. Connery on the bench, I think that would have been a consideration for me. Keep Thompson on her stronger left-hand side. Keep Connery in, who I think's actually been in a decent patch of form recently. But I think if Baltimore is at it, she's a better player than Connery. It all depends what level she's at. And I'm slightly concerned about limiting the impact of someone like Alyssa Thompson by putting her on a weaker side. But yeah, going to be interesting to see what this Chelsea team looks like. I really like the balance of that midfield. Nuska being fit to start, I think, is really important. Vika Kaptein, obviously, an option off the bench as well. But players emerging from the tunnel. And so it's time to get into predictions. Arsenal taking on Chelsea. If you want to get involved, let us know your scoreline prediction in the live chat. And we'll take a look at all of those and the poll in just a moment. But before then, we're going to get started here in the studio, Harry. And you can start by giving us your prediction as Arsenal host Chelsea.
It's a really difficult game to call. It really is. I think that, if Chelsea turn up on their day, then, of course, they've got the beating of Arsenal. But I just think with the Gunners in form, with the home advantage, there's a bit of confidence about between Arsenal fans. I can't remember the last time they went into a Chelsea game confident of getting a result. But I think it shows where both sides are at. I'm going to stick with what I said in the predictions video a couple of days ago, and I'm going to say Arsenal 1, Chelsea 0. I think that the Gunners will take the first leg advantage here, which is exactly what you need to do when you're at home. I think Chelsea will look to be solid defensively, look to try and take a draw or a small margin back to Stamford Bridge, and I think it will be a goal from Alessia Russo to be the difference between the two sides. Arsenal with a slight advantage going into the second leg, but still hanging in the balance nicely.
Yeah, to be honest, as tempting as a 3-0 Chelsea win is to predict right now, I'm also going to stick with what I said in the video, and that was a 1-1 prediction, mirroring the game at the Emirates earlier in the season. I think a lot of people writing Chelsea off in this game, and of course there are issues in that Chelsea squad. I think particularly around injuries, particularly around players that are having their minutes managed at the moment. I think Chelsea have 7 senior players who aren't either injured, absent, or having their minutes managed due to the fact they've played quite a lot and been injured. So, yeah, that isn't ideal, but Chelsea can turn up, absolutely can turn up in this kind of occasion. And I think there'll be a recognition from this side that the WSL's out of reach now. Yeah. And they've not had a good campaign domestically. But if they can go deep in the Champions League, if they can show up on the continental stage, then actually what happened in the league doesn't really matter. And I think that is now where Chelsea's focus will lie. So they'll be so keen to get a result today. And whether that can come to fruition is going to be really interesting. But yeah, I think it will be a 1-1 draw. And I think that would be a very positive result for Chelsea to take back to Stamford Bridge next week. I think it will be a Chelsea goal in the first half, similar again to the game earlier in the season at the Emirates. And I think that will be from Lauren James, because Lauren James is magic. And it's going to be so difficult for Arsenal to stop her making something happen this evening. As for Arsenal, I think it will be a sort of breakaway goal in the second half. And I'm going to go for Stina Blackstenius on the break. I still think Chelsea's vulnerability is in that counter-attack. We saw it last weekend against London City Lionesses, and they broke away and got that goal. I think that's still where Chelsea's weakness lies, and we know Arsenal are very good at moving that ball forwards quickly. I think Chelsea will set up more defensively today than they have in a lot of those games. And if they don't, then I think that could be to their detriment. But And that is something that will be interesting. Arsenal have really struggled this season against low blocks. Where they've thrived is games like Manchester City, where there's loads of space. But against Manchester United, against Tottenham, who sit deep, who sit compact, they've really struggled against teams who've executed a low block well. If Chelsea can do that today, they've absolutely got a chance. But it's all up to whether they can do that today, whether they can make life really difficult for the Gunners. Few predictions coming in. Phil says too close to call, so I'm going 5-0 Arsenal. So there we go. Nice null prediction there from Phil. Non-Pilo saying a 2-2 draw. Sean going 1-1. And the poll in chat at the moment, 53% Arsenal, 38% Chelsea, and 9% going for a draw. So the favour is with Arsenal in the poll. The predictions are fairly close apart from Phil's. It's going to be a great game here at the Emirates as Arsenal take on Chelsea. And it's the Blues to get us underway away from home. Lauren James from the middle waiting for the referee's whistle to get us kicked off in this Champions League quarter-final. Dummies the kick back, now knocks it back, are underway in this game. It's the first leg of the Champions League quarter-finals, an all-domestic affair as Arsenal take on Chelsea. Rivalry reunited in the Champions League then. And Chelsea in possession here with Lucy Bronze. Bronze goes back to Buchanan. Buchanan was a doubt coming into today's game, a struggle with injuries, but is fit enough to start. And Walsh gets dispossessed too easily there by Alessia Russo. Russo into Caldente. Now Kelly. Arsenal trying to find a way through here. Chelsea being regimented for now. McCabe poking it forwards. And Bronze there stands her up well. Wins back possession and knocks it out of play. Thompson does well to get back in there. Keep it in touch actually. Here's Cuthbert. Turns out of trouble well. Knocks it down the line. James picking up on the loose ball. Now with Thompson, who can't quite drive that out of trouble and accidentally runs it out of play. And Arsenal throw in on the far side.
Yeah, Chelsea have got to settle early. They're the side in mixed form. They're travelling away to the Emirates, which has become a fortress under Rene Slegers. Chelsea have got to settle down in this game and just look to get a foot on the ball. But it's Arsenal starting well, and Russo's won a corner here with a bit of tricky play.
Absolutely, Arsenal now with this corner then. And Beth Mead, the one over this. Plays it short. A nice combination as Mead now looks to deliver an in-swinger towards the penalty area. Cleared away well. And Lauren James can't get enough on that header. Arsenal keeping the pressure on. Kelly swings the ball into a dangerous area. Good goalkeeping from Hampton. And that's important. Been a little bit shaky recently. Hannah Hampton, a mistake in the Brighton game. Not much she could have done about the London City goal on Saturday, to be fair, but good to get a comfortable claim under a belt early in this match.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the right idea from Kelly just to put a teasing ball into a good area, but Hampton wise to it and gets down and claims it well. But yeah, Arsenal know that Chelsea will be looking to be a bit more defensive, and an early goal will just completely disrupt that way of playing for the Blues. So yeah, opening passages are really important here, but Arsenal, unsurprisingly, the side with threatening a little bit first.
Ryan says, do you think BBC is right about being a 5-back or is it a 4-back? It is a 4-back. BBC are taking it from UEFA. UEFA have got both formations horribly wrong. UEFA think Beth Mead is playing middle midfield. Beth Mead is not playing middle midfield. Ball out towards the right-hand side. The left-hand side, Berman. Here's Germer. What's quite interesting, though, is that Mead is playing left wing today to allow Kelly onto her favoured side. Do you think that's the right call from Arsenal? I mean, we expect them to switch anyway, frequently, but starting with Kelly on this right.
Yeah, I think they want to put pressure on Chelsea. I think they want Kelly's crossing abilities from this right-hand side to just put Chelsea under pressure. Put Chelsea under pressure in their own penalty area and see how they handle it.
I wonder, though, if you sacrifice some of the quality on the left-hand side, because I think you can put Kelly on there and get the crossing from Fox, who combines really nice with Mead. So it's absolutely a conversation. But yeah, Kelly much stronger on the right. So they're looking to target that early on and not perhaps get as much from Beth Mead. Baltimore into James. James holding the ball up brilliantly there in a tight space. And now Chelsea can utilise this. Great carry from Lauren James to the right-hand side. Spreads the play out wide to Bronze. Bronze option down the line. Chooses against it. Buchanan inside to Cuthbert. Bounces back to Kadisha Buchanan. And now Hampton knocking it to the left-hand side with Germer. Back to Hampton. Hampton high up the pitch here, splitting the two centre-halves. Chelsea happy to be quite aggressive in possession. Now looking to lift it forward, searching for Thompson. McCabe heads away. Drops now midfield and a tussle between Cuthbert and Caldente. Drops for Little, who's able to find Russo. Russo clipping that ball forwards. And, well, I think clipping a bit of an understatement there as that looped, lofted ball ends up out of play.
Yeah, overhit from Russo, but better from Chelsea and just showing the difference that Lauren James could make in the game tonight. Gets on the ball immediately, just holds it up nicely, turns away and gets Chelsea 10, 15 yards up the pitch.
It's going to be so important that Thompson is aware of that. And as soon as James drops in and draws defenders with her, Thompson and Baltimore as well, to be fair, are making those runs to exploit the space in behind.
Yeah.
We've just seen Wolfsburg do it to great effect with Lynette Bierenstein dropping to allow then space for Enderman to break in behind. And they really should have punished Lyonnaise more for that. McCabe now to Mariona Caldente, looking to the right-hand side again here. Caldente lifting it out there. And now Kelly bringing it under her control. Berman stands her up. Kelly looks to come inside now, though. And it's in to Blackstenius. Receives well out to the left-hand side. Here's Beth Mead. Bronze standing her up and steps in at the right moment. Brilliant defending from Lucy Bronze, who does tend to struggle usually at the Emirates, but's done well there. Now feeding it through the lines. McCabe misses the challenge. Here come Chelsea. Thompson waiting for support. Kadina stands her up and blocks the effort. And it's off the post. A big chance for Chelsea, and Arsenal get away with one there. Bronze wide to Thompson now. Back to Lucy Bronze. Now to Cuthbert. Cuthbert carrying it forwards dangerously here. Switching out to the left-hand side. Baltimore squares up to Fox. Wants to take her on here now. Sandy Baltimore. Can she get the shot away through crowded bodies and wide of the mark? But Chelsea here offering the early threat.
Yeah, brilliant from Bronze, who picks the pocket of Mead and then just releases Thompson, and McCabe dives in. It's rash, it's reckless, she gets it wrong. Thompson's away, and I thought that Kadina's block was going to take it away from goal and out from a corner, but it curled goalwards very late on and hit the foot of the post. Borba could only stand there and watch, and that is an early chance for Chelsea in this game. Just spinning onto the inside the post and bounces clear.
Reminds me of Carnreid's 8 minutes into the game at the Emirates early in the season when they knocked it beautifully down the right-hand side. It was Bronze once again there who fed her through. And Carnreid knocked it past the goalkeeper, but it hit the post and just didn't fall to a Chelsea player in the box. Similar there. Unfortunate there for Chelsea, but Arsenal undone too easily. Mead not strong enough up against Lucy Bronze, and, well, not unexpectedly, rash from Katie McCabe. On the ball now is McCabe. Back now to Kadina. And I mean, fair play to Kadina. She did really well to stand up Alyssa Thompson. Got the block in, and I mean, no one really expected that to bounce back towards the goal there. It was a bit of a wild one. But yeah, did well just to make that difficult for Thompson. Here's Kelly, and they have swapped Kelly and Mead immediately after that. And Cuthbert does well in midfield, and it's going to drop now. It's an opportunity for Lauren James breaking in behind. Kadina gets back in. James takes it past her. James into score the post again. Chelsea in the post twice in the opening stages. How on earth are Arsenal getting away with this? Another great opportunity. Arsenal undone. And Chelsea, how on earth do they not lead here at the Emirates? 2 early efforts off the post. It's been all Chelsea so far. And Arsenal, somehow, still the deadlock remains intact.
Wow. How are Chelsea not ahead in this game? Lauren James does everything right. Ball over the top, falls to her, the touch is good, and then the shift of feet to beat Kadina gives herself space to use. And again, Borba's beaten and can only watch on as it strikes the foot of the post once again.
It's one of those games. It's one of those seasons, isn't it? When things aren't going your way, nothing goes your way. Chelsea there, 2 great breakaways, and they did well both times, hitting the post. Here's Fox, that charged down well by Buchanan, and Caldente can't pick up on the loose ball. It's Cuthbert's to repossess. Brilliant work from Russo getting back in there, and Berman picking up the scraps. Here's Hampton. Lifting towards the right-hand side. Thompson brings it down well. Chelsea really using the width of the Emirates here really effectively. And Thompson going all the way back. That's between Bronze and Buchanan. Buchanan across to collect it. Ryan says, I do not need an enchanted goalpost game. My blood pressure cannot take it. No, I know. We should have heart monitors on these Chelsea streams. You could just have a little graphic up here showing what's happening to us. But oh my word, how are Chelsea not in front? Feels much like the game at the Emirates. 2 big opportunities, both coming off the post. Unbelievable. Hampton out towards Bronze, touched it down to Thompson, back to Lucy Bronze, and now to Thompson again.
Although they haven't got in, it's positive for Chelsea.
Absolutely.
You know, they've come into this game off the back of a draw. They've started well, hit the post twice, and it will just shake Arsenal up a bit. Home fans will, you know, as I said, I think Arsenal were very confident coming into this game, but seeing the opposition hit the post twice in the first 10 minutes is not an encouraging sign. And I think it's good for Chelsea just to get into the game in that way.
It can go both ways. It can rattle your cage, or it can kind of settle your nerves. We saw in the Wolfsburg-Lyon game, Wolfsburg should have conceded a penalty after about 8 minutes, and that wasn't given, and they seem to really take confidence from that. And here comes Chelsea. Great win from James. Nusken now out wide to Thompson, looking to take on McCabe. Thompson, can she get the shot away? Comes inside. Alyssa Thompson blocked by Wubben-Moy. Still alive here and cleared by Lotte Wubben-Moy. Little knocks it out for a corner, and there's a miscommunication. Arsenal are all over the place defensively. Chelsea have to capitalise.
Yeah, they've got away with one there. The flag's gone up on Nusken, which I'm not really sure what she can do about that. She didn't touch the ball, and Thompson didn't try and pass it to her. I mean, that's...
Is that playing the ball? Being in the general vicinity of it?
I don't think it really impacted Wubben-Moy's ability to play the ball either, but just a nice Chelsea the corner. But again, Chelsea are turning the ball over in that midfield, and Arsenal are very vulnerable defensively. Again, Thompson gets the better of McCabe, and if it wasn't for the block from Kadina, it would have been goal bound.
I think Kadina's done really well, but you can see where Chelsea are targeting the spacing behind McCabe and Kadina. And I mean, it's the same thing Corinthians targeted.
Yeah.
Because they know that's the weakness in there. McCabe is vulnerable defensively, especially in transition, and Kadina isn't the strongest centre half in that kind of role. So yeah, it's been messy for Arsenal, and Chelsea unlucky not to capitalise, and they win the ball back in midfield again, and Arsenal just can't play out right now. James shrugs off the challenge of Beth Mead, lifting it over the top. Baltimore, can she cut it back? It's just a little bit too much on that ball. Hits the turf and just skids quicker than it needed to. Didn't hold up for Sandy Baltimore. Yeah. Chelsea, how on earth have they not capitalised yet?
Again, Arsenal are just not picking anybody up. They're really struggling to... It's James in the free role, because it just shifts who everyone's got. Because suddenly, James comes out, Fox picks her up, and because Mead falls over, no one picks up Baltimore running through. And Arsenal are just struggling a minute to work out who's actually responsible for who. But 12 minutes in at the Emirates, Chelsea had 5 shots already. And again, I mean, we got called delusional for it. But this is why you look at these kind of games, and form can go out the window. Because no one would have saw this first 12 minutes playing out the way it has.
I mean, yeah, absolutely. Every football match is... Anything can happen in any football match. Again, no one predicted that Wolfsburg would be 1-0 up.
No.
Would win 1-0 over Lyonnais. Probably could have been a much more comprehensive victory if they were a bit more composed in front of goal. That's football. And Chelsea at the moment are nailing the setup. It's 12 minutes in, though. There's so many factors that can still play. The fact that I think Arsenal have more to bring off the bench. Chelsea have players, but a lot of them are either injured or fatigued. Thompson gets around McCabe again, cuts it back. It's just in front of Nusken. Big challenge from Little to get back in there, but McCabe gets done again in this game. Chelsea tighten that weakness every single time. And Arsenal fans question why Slagers has no interest, and Arsenal have no interest in renewing McCabe's contract. Watch this match. That is the 3rd or 4th time now. McCabe is nowhere near where she should be. I mean, that is lucky from Kelly. I didn't think there was too much in that from Bronze. Free kick for Arsenal.
Yeah, again, it's one of those. It's not too much in it, but they're always going to be given. But again, it's Bronze down the line to Thompson, who can beat McCabe for pace, beat McCabe for skill.
Around her, and McCabe has to let her go. I thought she gave away a penalty there.
Yeah, and again, it's brilliant from Little, actually, to get in there before Nusken can let fly.
Bronze wins it back again. That pass, though, to Thompson, just slightly misplaced. And now Mariona Caldente picking up possession, and Chelsea need to thwart this as quickly as possible. Caldente doesn't like her forward options. Nusken dispossessing her, but Arsenal get away with it as it falls to Wubben-Moy. They're all over the place at the moment, though. Really are. They've got to settle in this game, Arsenal. Fox coming inside and knocks it back to Annika Borba. Phil says, our centre-back's looking cool and composed as always. Yes, a frantic start here for Arsenal, especially building out.
Phil's still on for 5-0.
Yeah. Just the other way.
But again, we've seen it with the Champions League. We've seen it in football time again. Will Chelsea come back to rue the fact they haven't taken advantage in the first 15 minutes?
At the Emirates earlier in the season, a lot of discourse around the opportunities in the second half for Arsenal, but Chelsea could have been 3-0 up at the break if they'd taken their chances. Similarly here, 2 gilt-edged opportunities, 2 other chances they've created so far. It really could be Chelsea in a very comfortable lead, if not a small lead. Bronze now covered, but the deadlock remains intact, and I think Arsenal have got to take some belief from that.
Yeah.
Walsh knocks it around the corner. Wow, loses out in there, and Arsenal could look to use this. Here is Russo carrying towards the right-hand side. Cuthbert coming across, knocks it wide to Mead. Mead cuts it back. That's fantastic from Villa. Berman gets in front of the cutback and out for an Arsenal corner.
Really good from Berman. Again, Arsenal do well to turn it over the heart of the pitch, and Chelsea's midfield is just caught too high. Russo playing it out to Mead, who looks to cut it into the path of Blackstenius, but a crucial intervention from Werner Berman to put it behind for a corner. Better from Arsenal. Exactly the reaction they needed. As you say, when you get away with a couple in the opening stages, that just does, it can kick you into gear.
Shawder says, "Are you surprised about the turnout? I thought it'd be more. It looks like 20,000. Yeah, reports earlier suggested it was 20,000. I'm not surprised. It's pretty typical for midweek games that they're going to be lower. It's 2,000 less than Arsenal had at Real Madrid last year, which is interesting. McCabe lifts it in there, and that's going to drop away at the far side now for a Chelsea goal kick. I think it's why they put the Champions League semis at the weekends. But what I will say is, I reckon the core fans still going to be there. I reckon the atmosphere is 10 times better than 60,000 because you've actually got all the fans sitting together. Yeah. Similar as what I hope will be for Chelsea next week. We saw it against Man City last season. That was the best atmosphere I've seen for a ladies' game, especially at Stamford Bridge. And then Arsenal earlier this season in January was pathetic, absolutely pathetic from Chelsea. So hopefully, I think it enhances the atmosphere. These late nights, the fact that it is a less family-friendly vibe to it, the fact that Champions League puts in restrictions on away fans sitting in the home end. I think they all come together to make a better experience. But yeah, that is why. So yeah, it's not bad from Arsenal, 20,000 people. It's nowhere near, of course, what they've been doing in the past, but it's still well above what any other team is able to command. So, yeah, still huge respect. Arsenal pulling in the numbers. Throw-in for Arsenal on the far side, McCabe.
This has been a good couple minutes for Arsenal. Just
settling, yeah. Plays it forwards into Blackstenius and Walsh. That's too weak from Kira Walsh again there. Now Beth Mead looking to come inside. Finds Blackstenius again. Buchanan makes a mess of it. And Blackstenius, it's saved. And there is a foul there called on Kadisha Buchanan. But Walsh has got to be stronger in there. And then perhaps seeing that little bit of rustiness kicking in there for Buchanan and being called a foul anyway.
Yeah, big save from Hampton. Nonetheless, maybe Buchanan was just
pulled a little bit. I don't think there's much in it though.
No, I don't think there's anything there at all. I don't think it would have been.
I think it's the little pull on the arm there that just knocks her off balance. But saved anyway by Hannah Hampton, so ultimately it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think a couple players there for Chelsea making mistakes and Arsenal almost capitalising.
Yeah, the concern will be is that Buchanan's gone down holding her hamstring hit, and this is not good for Chelsea. It's just as she stretched. And there does seem to be a problem with that left hamstring. Yeah, she just pulled away. She stretched at it the second time, immediately went down. Big save from Hampton to deny Blackstenius. But yeah, Walsh again, way too weak. Got to be stronger in there.
Chelsea only have one defensive option on the bench tonight, and that is Ellie Carpenter, a player who, let's not forget, was in Australia about 30 hours ago.
Yeah, she's not fit enough. There's no way Carpenter will come onto this game and play well.
I would imagine if this was a problem, they'd bring on they'd put Nuskin in the defensive line, bring on Potter or Captine, something like that. I think this is going to be it for Buchanan. I'm worried. She's trying to continue here, and I respect it. It's admirable. Does seem to be moving a little more freely there. That looks better.
It's taped up already.
A sigh of relief. But, this is the situation. We saw Bjorn come off in the League Cup final immediately after coming on. Can't read over to check on her. I think that's not our change. If things are going wrong. Carpenter's not even in Chelsea kit.
Oh, yeah, she's there. Yeah,
kit underneath, obviously, but she's there in a coat.
I wouldn't even know. Yeah, no, she's not. She's wearing what Bompastor's wearing.
Well, she's on the bench. I'm guessing if they need her, she's there.
Yeah.
But
she's there in a coaching capacity.
I doubt that if they can avoid bringing her on, they will.
Yeah.
Chelsea down to a reduced number of 10 then for the moment, and Hampton's going to send this one long. No funny business when Arsenal have an additional player until Buchanan is allowed to re-enter the fray. And now Hampton will launch this towards the left-hand side, and it's won well in there by Sioka Nuskun. Thompson competing for the ball, but it does fall to Mariona Caldente. Now Cadena. Forwards into Little, bounced back to Cadena. Great message as well from Bassir in the live chat. Says, please subscribe if you're new here. If you've already done that, then don't forget to like. Absolutely. Over 200 people watching right now. 37 likes in the chat, in the stream. So make sure to go and like it. Let's get that to 100 again. Great to see so much support on the earlier stream. Let's match that in this stream. Every like shows the YouTube algorithm you're enjoying the game. And of course, we're aiming for 10,000 subscribers by the end of the season. If you haven't yet subscribed and you're enjoying the show, make sure to subscribe. Unnecessary there from Sunday Baltimore.
Yeah, really clumsy. Just 2 hands in the back of Beth Mead. No need to do it.
No. You're going to win a header. It's Beth Mead.
Yeah.
That's not the tallest player on the pitch. That shouldn't be a problem. James comes in. I didn't think there was too much wrong with that one. But it will be a free kick. Comes in a little bit heavy, but I thought she won the ball.
Yeah, it's decision making from Chelsea. Just comes back in and takes Kante's leg strap from underneath her. I mean, then Baltimore decided to push Beth Mead over again for good measure.
Yeah, I think it's a genuine attempt from the ball from James. It's just a little bit too late. And then, yes, Baltimore.
Baltimore needs a good game. She cannot afford a bad game. Well, all Chelsea first 15 minutes, really good from Chelsea. Hit the post twice, didn't find the back of the net, and Arsenal seem to have reacted quite well to that.
No shots on target, though, and that's the problem again, isn't it, from Chelsea? 5 shots, none of which were on target.
Yeah.
And, I mean, 2 on the post is, of course, it does make that stat a little bit difficult to measure because they were incredibly unlucky to hit the post. But, yeah, Anna Kaborba hasn't been tested yet, and I think that's a problem. Chelsea have got to test her tonight. There's been a bit of confusion, a bit of conversation around those goalkeeping and the switches Arsenal have made. You've got to try and get under Borba's skin, I think, and not testing her early on. It's a bit of a shame. Arsenal now with this free kick, and you think they'll try and put this on top of Hannah Hampton.
Yeah.
Mead and McCabe over this. Would it be an outswinger or an in-swinger? I think they'll go for McCabe here, if I'm honest. Just try and get a nod on. McCabe raises her arm. And it will be Katie McCabe to lift it in there. That's a good ball, and it's headed home for Arsenal. A stupid free kick to give away for Chelsea. McCabe lifts it in there, and Blackstenius nods it on. And that's why you don't give away the ball like that. You don't give away free kicks in positions like that. Nothing Hampton could do. A well-struck free kick by McCabe. Blackstenius touching it home, and Arsenal lead at the Emirates.
Yeah, and McCabe struggles defensively, but that's what she gives you. Brilliant deliveries. The great in-swinger, and no one picks up Cedar Blackstenius' run. Just creeps in between Cuthbert and Walsh again, who doesn't follow her player. And Blackstenius is out a free header past Hannah Hampton. And Arsenal, after a bit of a shaky start, now have the lead.
It's Walsh. It's Walsh's
poor.
player.
So poor.
So poor from Kira Walsh. It was a stupid free kick to give away. Chelsea trying to be aggressive and just over the line, really. Trying to be strong, turned out to be aggressive. Should never concede a free kick in a position like that. And then the marking on it is poor. What on earth is Kira Walsh? Nowhere near Blackstenius. Lets her run free. And, I mean, Blackstenius with so much space was always going to find the back of the net with that header. Arsenal 1, Chelsea 0.
Sums up Chelsea's season, the first half of this 45. Not clinical enough in front of goal, don't take their chances, and then a lack of defensive organisation gets pounced on. Good reaction by Arsenal after being under early pressure. But Chelsea will be kicking themselves as to how they're 1-0 down in this game.
Yeah, just got to regroup. I think there was frustration from Chelsea. They didn't capitalise on the early chances, and that's materialised in a couple silly fouls and some poor defensive decisions there. I think they've just got to settle again into this game. They're the better side the first 10. They've started to let Arsenal get into the match. And now they've let Arsenal find a goal from a set piece. You never want to give a ball. You never want to give a set piece away in a position like that. And it's a frustrating goal to give away. Because outside of that, Arsenal haven't created loads. Here's Walsh. Does better there up against Russo. Buchanan across the back line to Germer. Hampton into Buchanan. Horizon says, bad time for Walsh to have an off day. She's had an off half a season, though. Since the turn of the year, it's just not been the same Kira Walsh. Such error-strewn performances, and yeah, just another. How do you not pick up Blacksenius in the box there? Beaten way too easily. Poor marking from Walsh. Here's Caldente. Pressed well by Lucy Bronze. Chelsea with a throw-in on the far side. Thompson back to Bronze, down the line to Thompson, inside to Nuska, and back to Thompson. Lovely give and go. Lifted into the box now. Wooben Moy with an erratic header. Bouncing around, and Mead able to head away. Berman misses the challenge, and now Fox carrying forwards. Walsh does enough there just to stop her in her tracks, and James getting back in with a defensive effort. Now drops in midfield, and no challenger for the ball. Berman does well to step onto Russo, and Chelsea win back possession. But yeah, I mean, as you said, it sums up Chelsea's games this season. 2 off the post in the first 10. Give away a silly free kick. And they're punished for it.
Yeah.
It seems to be the story of this campaign.
And it just, Chelsea would have wanted to be defensively solid today. Just try and keep things tight. I think they tried. The aim clearly was very similar to what Wolfsburg did earlier, which is be intense, be aggressive from the start, try and get an early goal, and then have something to defend. And Wolfsburg executed perfectly, but Chelsea showing exactly what happens when you don't get it right.
I mean, in terms of structure, getting it right, but it's just rashness of players. Baltimore gave away a shoot free kick moments before. James comes back in, and I get it's nervy. It feels very nervy anyway, and I get it for Chelsea. There's a real pressure on this game, but you've got to be calmer in those kind of moments.
Yeah.
A free kick like that in that kind of position is so unnecessary. Arsenal weren't going anywhere. Let them try and break the low block down. It's where Arsenal struggle. You don't need to go flying into challenges to assert yourself in this kind of game. Nuskin trying to poke a pass through the lines there. Now knocks it into the box, and again, not dealt with initially by the header, but Fox enough to get the ball away. Berman now picking up the scraps. Out wide to James. James surveying her options, clipping the ball in there. That's a great ball, and Bronze can't quite get there. And Nuskin deemed, I think, to have fouled Wouben-Moy for good measure.
Yeah. Nuskin was in an offside position, just came back in and pushed Wouben-Moy. But yeah, Bronze was the real threat there. Bombing on the run. Just managed to get in between McCabe and Mead, but couldn't meet the free kick. But couldn't meet the ball in.
Caldente. Under pressure here from Kira Walsh. And now Bronze coming in with a big challenge. That should be a Chelsea throw-in, and it is. Kicking it into Chloe Kelly. And now Lucy Bronze with the throw-in. Chelsea don't love these kind of situations, though, where they've got to break this Arsenal team down.
Yeah.
They've thrived really well on Arsenal coming forwards and Chelsea being able to go the other way and counter-attack very effectively. And that breaks down very easily. Blacksenius holding the ball up brilliantly there, and Buchanan can't shrug her off the ball. James now gets back in, and too aggressive in her attempts. That's going to be a yellow card.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pullback.
I think it's penalising based on the last foul, though. The last one was a foul. That one, the hand on the... I get you can't put your hands on the player, but it doesn't have as much impact. She still gets back in and makes the clean challenge, but James has got to be smarter there.
Yeah, exactly that. I think the referees...
Don't think it's a yellow card.
I think she's given herself a lot of work, because that has set the precedent now for the game.
2 fouls of any nature, it's a yellow. Caldente, can she squeeze a shot towards goal? Stood up well by Germer, blocked well by Naomi Germer. Arsenal corner, and they've already scored from one set piece. What can they make happen here?
Yeah, this is good for Arsenal. They're going to try and really kill this, not kill the tie off, but kill the game off. They know they've got to make the home advantage count, and they're looking to just try and catch Chelsea while they're down. Suddenly, 2-0, you put yourself in a great position.
Yeah, I think it was important for Chelsea not to concede first tonight, and when they had those opportunities to score, they were that changes the tide of the game, really. If they can keep it at 1-0, it's a good result, I think. But the fear will be that they are under the cosh after conceding. They've just not really got out, and it looked like a foul in that corner routine. Berman lets it run, and I think that came off an Arsenal player, and that will be a goal kick.
Yeah, Chelsea. Now it's Chelsea's turn to just try and settle down in this game.
That came from Naomi Goma, to be fair. Not that the referee could see much. Russo and Goma both challenged the ball, and well, it looks like it's been launched long immediately, and the referee not happy that that's happened. Having a conversation here with Hampton. I'm not sure what the referee's problem is there.
No.
Hampton perhaps taking it before the referee's ready. But referee should be ready before the players are, really. Buchanan. Back now to Hampton. Knock it to the left-hand side. Berman's not going to get there. Good pressure from Arsenal. Chelsea just too wide there. And there was just nothing on for Hannah Hampton.
Yeah, she's forced to try and play that glory pass out to the left-hand side, and it doesn't come off.
Fox goes down the line. It's cut back, and Russo unmarked. Well, Black Sands unmarked again in the box. This time straight at Hampton, though. Russo barreling into her in the aftermath. Oh, Kelly, sorry, barreling into her in the aftermath. Should have known.
Yeah, again, Chelsea worked the throw well. Arsenal worked the throw well, and Russo's ball to back is good. First time shot's the right decision, but doesn't drive enough power through it, and a bit too central.
Fox clears ball over her head from Mariona Caldente. Now Stenius touches it to Mead. Trying to play through the lines there, and Berman wins it back.
Yeah, good recovery from Berman. Just misjudged the ball initially, but does well to get back in.
As Ahmad says, please no fake scores here. Yeah, I don't see the point of it. You're not going to fool us. You're not going to fool the chat, because we're watching the game here. Yeah, it's all right if you say something like, "Oh, I hope it's going to be 1-1. I hope it's going to be 2-0, whatever." But just putting a fake score like it's so pointless. And people that do it, I will just time you out. So yeah, don't bother. Russo out towards the right-hand side with Mead. Berman trying to stand her up as Mead comes inside. Switch the play now to Kelly. And she can shoot from this kind of range, and it bounces through. It's a great strike from Kelly, and Chelsea just don't put enough pressure on her. And this is getting silly now for Chelsea. Arsenal 2, Chelsea 0. Chloe Kelly from range, similar to the goal she scored against West Ham. Chelsea don't get out to her. And is this tie over after 30 minutes?
Yeah, again, Arsenal taking advantage while they're on top. Chelsea have had the wind knocked out of their sails and not reacted after that first goal. We saw it at the weekend, didn't react to being under pressure from London City, and just have not reacted to going a goal behind. And Kelly here, she's 25, 30 yards out, is afforded way too much space, and Hampton has to do better with the shot. Just bounces in front of her and misjudges it completely. And Arsenal are in control of this game already. Half an hour in, and a big lead now for the Gunners.
Yeah, I agree with people's comments on Hampton, but that shot should never happen from that range.
Bronze is nowhere near her.
Bronze just doesn't attempt to close that down. Throws herself in the air. It's awful. Absolutely awful. 2 Chelsea goals. Arsenal players completely unmarked. And we said at the top of the show, defensive discipline is going to be so important today. And while Hampton should save that, the defending has been awful. And yeah, Arsenal's defending in the first 10 was tragic, and Chelsea didn't capitalise. Arsenal capitalising fully. It's a side in form against a side who just aren't.
Chelsea can't concede again. It's as simple as that. But they've still got just under 60 minutes to play.
Berman into Nutskun. Nutskun shuffles away from Wubben well. Now looking for support. Baltimore. Back to Berman. Just about squeezing it back to Naomi Goma. Now Buchanan. And here's Goma. Knocks it back to Hampton. Buchanan back to Hampton. Buchanan knocking it into Lucy Bronze. Plays it inside now for Nuskin. That's a very late challenge from Kadena. And that should be a yellow card, and it is. Surely a yellow card. It is indeed. Awful challenge from player Kadena, that. Nowhere near the ball. And a free kick now for Chelsea.
Yeah, very late. She's arguing that she got the ball, but I'm not really too sure where she got that idea from. At least Chelsea stay the ship. But again, there's just not that. There's not that reaction. There's not that like kick into gear that you expect to see from any side that falls behind in a game, let alone 2 goals down to your rivals in a Champions League quarter final.
Yeah.
Or even the first goal. There's just no reaction. And again, Chelsea been punished for it.
Free kick now in a decent area. Baltimore and Cuthbert over this. Cuthbert. What on earth is that? From Erin Cuthbert. I've got no words. She just punted it out of play. And I mean, she's making excuses there, but what is that from Erin Cuthbert?
I mean, I can't. No, there's no way to describe that.
I mean, it's completely polarising. It's a soft foul from James the other end, and Arsenal make full effect of the free kick. Leggy goes flying in there, and Chelsea make nothing happen from it. They punt it out of play.
I don't even know what she tried to do.
No.
That just looked like kicking it off. Purposely.
Back in, just, I don't know, take the 3-0, forfeit.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're doing tonight, Chelsea. Germer. Now Walsh, back to Germer. Berman inside to Nuskin. Lifting it over the top, and Lauren James is in again, and Chelsea have got to make this one count. Needs support, cuts it back, and Wubben gets back in. A good block from Lotte Wubben. Bronze was the only player really offering anything there. And it would have been hard for James to pick her out in that position.
But it's positive. Chelsea getting the players on the ball they need to. Doing what they did in the first game. Balling behind the fullback. Putting pressure. One on the front two. Putting pressure onto the centre half. It's good defending from Wubben, but better from Chelsea. Erin Cuthbert's got to put this one in the box and try to keep it on the pitch.
Roll on the floor, I'm going to cry. That's a terrible ball in towards the front post, and Beth Mead heads it away. Why is Cuthbert on any set pieces? I haven't seen her take a good one this season.
No.
Thompson exchanging with Walsh. Walsh back now to Bronze. Again, surveying those forward options. Nothing really apparent here for the Blues. Goes back to Hannah Hampton.
From their own corner.
Plays it into Germer. Lauren James. Now to Sondi Baltimore. Trying to knock it wide, and that. Another miscommunication. There was a great option to play that forward into James, and Baltimore, we said she had a good game today.
Rubbish.
And, well, she didn't hear that message.
Yeah. 37 minutes has committed 2. And again, it's the effort, though. And it's what I'm talking about, the reaction. It's just no effort.
Thompson winning the ball back. Takes aim from range. Blocked. And Akababa works hard and stops it going from a corner.
Looked like it might have been blocked by the arm, but maybe not.
Chelsea didn't protest even if it did. Sure, that's something you call for and then hope to get something, but...
Good from ball, but to stop it going for a corner. Don't mind that from Thompson, just having a go, seeing what you can get. It's what, exactly what Kelly did. I mean, she's 25 yards out from goal and just had a go.
Walsh tries to poke it forwards. One back in there by Little. McCabe. Now to Kadena. And here's Bronze, wins it back and carrying the ball forwards now. Lucy Bronze, Mariona Caldente comes across and makes the challenge. Bronze back to Buchanan.
Big 7 minutes. Chelsea need to reply, really, before half-time.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. 2-0 is just not good enough, especially... I mean, those chances early on, how much Chelsea, we said, could Chelsea ruin, how much they're ruining them right now. Berman into Naomi Germer. Baltimore comes inside. Nuskin holds it up. Looked like she was dragged down in there, and it is penalised. A foul from Emily Fox and Chelsea the free kick. And hopefully, Erin Cuthbert isn't to take this one.
I think Arsenal at this point won't mind giving away free kicks. Bit of a needless one. Katina just steps up and Nuskin does want to back herself into her, to be fair. But yeah, just comes through it. Well, Baltimore's also in the conversation for this one. I don't trust either to put a good ball at this moment. Let's see. Again, you'd expect it to be Baltimore.
After the last one from Cuthbert, it has to be surely.
Just take it away from the goalkeeper.
And yeah, just try and find someone in there. And Baltimore, that's not a bad delivery. Buchanan gets there. It's on top of the goal, and Villa Berman heads it home, and it's a foul against Cadena. And this is going to be checked by VAR because Cadena throws herself down here. And what will VAR decide? I have to see a replay here.
I mean, she's got her hands on her, but does she really push her?
That's not. That is never a foul.
No way.
Not a chance in hell is that a foul.
Got her hands on her, but it doesn't push her whatsoever.
That is literally every Arsenal men's goal this season. There is no way that gets ruled off at the Emirates. Great ball in from Baltimore. Buchanan jumps up for it. It's Ruben Moy actually makes contact with the head.
Oh,
that is
no
not
goal,
a foul. It comes off, throws herself on the floor. Not a chance does this get disallowed. They are still checking this. It's unbelievable.
Come on. Well, the referee's given it because Cadena's gone down, but yeah, that's not. I think this is going to stand. There's no push. There's no chance. Cadena doesn't even just fall over like when you get pushed. She went down in stages.
No push.
Yeah, there's not.
She hits the post and then sits down.
Yeah. This should stand. That weren't a foul. They're taking their time, which tells you that they know that. No way.
Oh, no way. Well, there we go. I mean, we try and be neutral as possible. I don't think it's not neutral to say that is a ridiculous decision from the officiating team here. It's a perfectly good goal from Chelsea. Cadena throws herself down. And I mean, the referee has bought it hook, line and sinker. That is a terrible, terrible decision. Perfectly good goal. Unbelievable from UEFA officiating.
They've had some clangers tonight. They really have.
Unbelievable that VAR checked that. And I have decided I can't believe it. I actually can't believe it.
They had a long look at it. They really did.
Brilliant stuff. Thompson. Headed away by Cadena. Also Berman, who lifts it back in there. Headed away by Cadena. And now Fox clears. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
I mean, we've got to the point where you can't use your hand. It's a contact sport. Wow. They missed a stonewall penalty in the Leonés game. And
I just don't get how this is the premier competition for European football. And we've got officials like that.
Yeah,
it's unbelievable.
I'm more concerned it was given on the pitch.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean.
I mean, if the referee doesn't give it.
I can see the VAR, the justification will be, the refs, we don't want to overturn the decision. Ridiculous either way, but how on earth the referee has given that? It's pathetic. Absolutely pathetic officiating. But there we go. Calling out for Chelsea. Cuthbert delivers it in there and no one quite makes contact with it. And Germa can't keep it in. That'll be an Arsenal goal kick. And Bronze was the one who rose up to it. Just couldn't get clean contact on the ball. Did well to wriggle away from a marker.
Yeah, she either needs to get nothing on it or everything on it because the tiny touch didn't go goalwards and took it away from Germa. Arsenal have played well, but Chelsea will be wondering how on earth they're 2-0 down going into half-time here.
Two off the post, one disallowed for zero reason by VAR. A27 says I'm a United fan, but that being called a foul is a joke. At least we've got some sense in the live chat. That's just unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable.
Yeah.
Chelsea with the throw in now. Bronze goes down the line. Nusken tries to find Thompson. One back by Arsenal. Wubben-Moy. And now Fox. Ball lifting out towards the right-hand side. And me just enough to keep that in touch. Gives it away, though, to Berman. James needed a call that covers in space as well to wriggle out of trouble. Blocked away well by Little. Chelsea corner to follow.
Better from Chelsea. This is the reaction we expected.
Yeah, did really well. Should have a goal back in this game, but working hard now. 4 minutes additional time. And get a goal before the break. It's absolutely game on. Taken short. James knocks it to the edge. Walsh has time. Got to hit it, and it's straight into the bodies. Had to hit that earlier. Kira Walsh allowed players to get out to her. Arsenal now trying to drive the ball forwards. Me down the line, and Blackstone won't get there. But since the second goal, Chelsea have started to swing this back in their favour. Couple opportunities, scored a perfectly good goal. It remains Arsenal 2, Chelsea now.
Half-time will come nicely for Arsenal. They'll hope to get into the break with their 2-goal lead.
Now Hampton. Carries the ball, knocks the ball forwards, looking for Thompson now. And she gets the wrong side of Cadena, but Wubben-Moy does well there to clean up. Puts one back high here by Bronze. Out for an Arsenal throw-in. Two and a half minutes left of the allotted additional period. McCabe looking down the line. Bronze heading out of play. Arsenal throwing on the far side. McCabe. Blackstenius, one back in there well by Siok and Nusken. Cuthbert. Buchanan round the corner into Bronze. And now to Hannah Hampton. Germer. Back now to Hampton, to Walsh. And back to Naomi Germer. Hampton. To Buchanan, wide now. Bronze flicks it round the corner. Thompson. This one back in there well by Mariona Caldente. McCabe into Kelly. Now Blackstenius. McCabe back into Wubben-Moy. And now out into Chloe Kelly. All the way back now to Lotte Wubben-Moy. Fox carrying down the right-hand side. Mead. Too strong in there from Nusken. Just pulling down Mead. Free kick now for Arsenal.
Yeah, Arsenal done well to take the sting out of this additional time. Chelsea reacted well, but yeah, it looks like the Gunners are going to get to the break with their 2-goal lead intact. Yeah, it's clumsy between Walsh and Nusken, who again haven't played very well today so far. But yeah, looks like Arsenal will get to the break in a nice position.
Held up well by Blackstenius. Now with Beth Mead. Mead going down the right-hand side. Berman just trying to stand her up. Mead plays it back in, and Germa making the challenge. It falls now for Fox. Into Caldente in the pocket. Cuthbert coming across. Sees it out of play. Great work from Aaron Cuthbert.
Really good from Cuthbert. Just runs Caldente off the pitch, which is important because, as we say, Chelsea can't concede again.
And that is half-time here at the Emirates Stadium. Arsenal 2, Chelsea 0. A game of moments. Arsenal have taken theirs. Chelsea failing to capitalise on some of their own. Blackstenius with the first, a well-worked free kick routine after a silly foul from Lauren James. Kelly with the second, under zero pressure on the edge of the box, and Hampton really should have done better. And that is half-time here at the Emirates. It's a game of moments. Once again for Chelsea, it's a game of moments this season.
Yeah.
Early in the half, they have those opportunities. They can't quite take either of them. And Arsenal really took momentum from that. Arsenal kicked into gear. They took advantage of some sloppy defensive moments from Chelsea. They found their 2 goals, both well taken by the goal scorers. And they kicked on. After that, Chelsea came right back into the game. Score a goal. Gets disallowed for the most hilarious reason. Once again, how on earth do we have officials that are so incompetent? And Arsenal have a healthy lead going into the break. It's absolutely deserved. Arsenal deserved to have 2 goals in this game. Chelsea missing those opportunities. It's criminal that for all the opportunities they've had, they've still not put a shot on target. But yeah, it's a game of moments. Arsenal have been clinical and they've had 2 and they've taken both of them. Chelsea have had more than Arsenal in terms of those opportunities. Failed to take them.
Yeah, absolutely. As you say, team banging form. Scored 2 in their 15-20 minute spell, and Chelsea either side of that were the better side, but really, just did not take their chances, and that makes a difference in these kind of matches. And it's left Chelsea with a lot of work to do going into the second half. But yeah, it's 45 minutes where Arsenal on the whole walk out with it with a 2-goal margin, but it can be very different. And as you say, I think it's another case of what Arsenal have done so well this season, which is just do their bit. Arsenal have been, and the reason why they've looked so good recently, we mentioned it on the weekend roundup on Monday about the West Ham game, where they play what's in front of them, and they're really good at just focusing on their own game. They got their bit right. Arsenal today, when they were on top, they've scored their 2 goals. It doesn't matter, yes, they've probably got away with it in terms of the disallowed goal and the Chelsea hitting the post twice, but that's not their concern.
That's what you get when you're informed, though, isn't it?
Exactly.
You make your own luck in football, and a team that are firing all cylinders was so clinical in front of goal. And, sometimes it does require the rub of the green, a frankly awful call from the referee, and Chelsea hitting the post twice. But you do get that in football when you're on your game, when you're able to finish your opportunities, you do tend to get the rub of the green.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, we the game earlier, Wolfsburg, they got their goal when they were on top, but they got a bit lucky with the penalty. They again was missed by the officials in that game, and there were a couple of chances where Lyonnais should have found the back of the net. But that's what happens. You've got to take your moments in football, and I think that Arsenal are very, very good at playing what's in front of them and getting their bit right. And when you get your bit right, there's a very good chance that you go on to win football matches, because it means that you go and both sides could have scored 2 or 3 goals in this game. Arsenal took have got their 2. Chelsea have failed to take anything. And when you think about that in a Champions League tie, even if no one scores now tonight, Arsenal have got a massive advantage going into the second leg. So they're in a perfect position. I'm very intrigued to see how they'll play the second half, whether they'll push for more or whether they'll try and consolidate. But their job is to just not concede now. But yeah, Chelsea, just another really frustrating. It's even more difficult when you're in Chelsea's position to solve problems, because if you're Bon Pastor, you're thinking, well, we haven't done that much wrong. We hit the post twice. We had a disallowed goal that shouldn't have been disallowed, and and in those moments, it's because she can't just make rash changes, because for 25 minutes of that 45, Chelsea played well and were the better side for moments of it, but it was just a madness of 15 minutes in there. And I mentioned it again, there was no reaction to going a goal behind. Again, I don't know where that mentality's gone for Chelsea, because if they faced any adversity in the past, they'd let the team know that shouldn't happen, and they'd go and smash them for 6, basically, and react. But there's no reaction from Chelsea. They didn't react, and they got punished because they conceded again. and then they reacted. But by that point, it's almost a little bit too late because you've given Arsenal complete control of the game.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I think it's frustrating to watch. I think Phil puts it best, saying silly games have to go down and play the ref. She's ruined this one. It is so frustrating because, contrary to I'm sure what many Arsenal fans believe, we don't do this to sit here and talk about refereeing decisions and get frustrated about that. But any analysis of the game now comes with a caveat that Chelsea should have had another goal.
Yeah.
And while people will go, well, that still would have been 2-1, it's such a shift in game state. It completely changes the way the two teams go into the second half and how they play the second half now. And it changes how the end of the half looks. It's such a big shift in the game state. And it's difficult because I would do analysis on for the Friday video talking about, what Arsenal have absolutely nailed in this game and taking their moments. But you can't, there's no way around it. You have to talk about the refereeing decision. If you talk about it, then it doesn't fit the narrative that the target audience wants for that video. If you don't talk about it, it's a disingenuous analysis. So you can't get it right. We don't want to talk about refereeing decisions, but how on earth are they still plaguing the biggest games every single time?
Yeah.
Because it kills it. And we've seen it in both of the Champions League quarterfinals tonight. There are some fantastic referees in the women's game. Referees like Stephanie Frappart, who are assured of themselves and who don't just make guesswork decisions. How are we allowing Elena Demetrescu and referees like the official this evening and whoever was, I don't know the name of the official who refed earlier today, but why? How have they got to this point? How are they having games like this where they are having such a big impact on the result and making such poor calls? And how is VAR not helping them?
Yeah.
That's the other big confusion.
Yeah, I think it's difficult. I hate it. Anyone who watches the channel will know that my kind of referee tinted glasses always come first, no matter who's playing. And it's horrible. Same with the game at the Emirates in the league. It's horrible. But yeah, this one's massively surprising. I think earlier, you've got a relatively inexperienced referee in a game, but someone like Alina Pesu, who's doing this game tonight, she's done Champions League, Euros, World Cups, comes into this game and has just made an absolute mess of it. I can't see as a referee why you give that. I really can't.
With VAR in operation, that's my argument. Why?
No one appeals. And I think as a referee, to give a decision where no one appeals is really bizarre. Doesn't matter if you think it's right or wrong, especially when you've got the backing of VAR. I think you should let them do their job. I think that's the other big problem is that, I'd love to know the VAR booth, two people from Switzerland, but what have they looked at? I really don't. And I feel for them because, again, it's that difficult thing where, based on the referee's call, has she made a clear and obvious error? And it puts them in a difficult position. I think it's an awful on-field call. As I say, I think she hasn't seen it. She's seen Kadina hit the floor, but no one in an Arsenal shirt appeals. I think if you've got Arsenal people up in arms, you've got an assistant referee on the far side, if she's sure about it, if Arsenal are furious, then you give it. But Arsenal didn't care. They had no problem with it whatsoever. So, it's even Arsenal knew it wasn't a foul. It's a shame because it as Phil says, it's ruined a really good game.
I don't want to talk about the ref anymore. It's pointless. I appreciate everyone in the live chat. There's Arsenal fans agreeing. I think that says it all. To the Arsenal fans not agreeing, I think if you can't see how delusional your opinion is, crack on, whatever. But let's talk about the game because I think it's once again a game of moments, and it's a game where we're seeing a side in form take the opportunities and a side not in form not take the opportunities. Chelsea, I think, Bonpastor's nailed the setup.
Yeah. I
don't think Chelsea have done anything wrong structurally. I think actually they've done really well to be quite narrow and compact. And both Arsenal goals actually came from a free kick situation and a switch of the play, which Bronze didn't get out to and gave Kelly too much space. They're not structural issues. They're individual mistakes. The free kick, by the way, the player that was fouled wasn't going anywhere.
Yeah.
No need to make that foul in that position from Lauren James. It's a really rash decision. And I think it was just the frustration, those missed opportunities coming in. I know we're not talking about the rest.
No, I'm not.
Watching it over and over again. Jesus Christ.
No one appeals. No one in an Arsenal shirt appeals.
No.
You look at the defenders on the line, they're right in front of it. They don't care. Oh,
you wonder why I hate refs.
I know.
Ruining the sport.
But carry on.
But where was I with what I was talking about? But I think they've now set up Chelsea. They've done really well to move the ball forwards quickly. I think they've done really well to target the centre halves effectively. I think Kadina and Ruben have really struggled in this game. I think Arsenal fans in the live chat recognising that. P57391 saying, as an Arsenal fan, that goal should have stood 100%. Need to make some subs at half time because this defence has been embarrassing. Yeah, I mean that's the thing, isn't it? You know, you're looking at Arsenal, and actually I think Chelsea have done really well to stretch that defence. I think they're targeting specifically the left-hand side of Arsenal's defence. They're trying to get in behind McCabe, which they've done quite a few times now with Thompson. They're trying to get one-on-one with Kadina, which they've done quite a few times now. I actually think Kadina's not had as bad a game as I would expect her to. I think she has stepped up in moments. But Chelsea are clearly targeting that side. And, you know, the Thompson one was a shot in the general direction of goal. Would have been a fortunate deflection. But the fact that it deflects like that and it still comes off the post, it's just, you know, it's just Chelsea's luck at the moment. As for the second one, Lauren James does fantastic in the break in behind. And again, it just seems to be Chelsea's luck at the moment. That one comes off the post. Again, it's football. It's the kind of thing that can happen. A side that aren't in their form or who aren't on it, you just don't seem to get the rub of the green, do you, in those kind of games where it comes off the post twice and then you get the referee decision. So, yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see now where Chelsea go from here. Talking of those moments, again, individual mistakes from Chelsea players. It has plagued them this season. I think there's been some fair criticisms of Bompastor's system in other matches, but I think in this game, Chelsea have nailed the setup. Arsenal have been limited to 6 shots, 3 on target. 2 of them have gone in. 2 of the 3 shots on target. Chelsea still lacking clinicality. I think that was going to be a problem always without a clear, recognised striker on the pitch. But to be fair, they've had 2 shots off the post and one that was in the back of the net. So again, the stats are slightly misjudged there, but I think it's still showing that Chelsea are getting into decent positions and not quite hitting the target. I think it's a real shame they've not tested Borba yet. Those shots they're hitting the post, as much as it's like a little bit unlucky to hit the post, got to hit the target.
Yeah.
In those moments, you've just got to hit the target. Even if Borba saves it, I'd rather Borba save it than hit the post.
Yeah.
Because we've got to put more pressure on Annika Borba. Outside of that, though, I mean, Arsenal did really well to take their moments. I think the defence is a bit too open for them at the moment. I think we've actually seen what we've seen today for Arsenal, something we've not really seen in a few weeks. It was them building out and Chelsea pressing really aggressively, and those high turnovers were coming back.
Yeah.
We've not seen it much recently for Arsenal since we've seen them bring Russo in, but I think Chelsea midfield today being a bit more combative and pressing quite aggressively and pressing in that 4-2-4 has just allowed them to turn over the ball quite a lot. Obviously, Arsenal not having Catley and Williamson as well hasn't helped. Because having players who have that long range pass, it drops the opposition midfield line back because you've got to make sure that you are able to drop if that ball goes long. They don't have that threat today, and every time Kadina and we've tried to play a longer pass, the range isn't there, the accuracy isn't there, and it's going out of play or it's going wildly. So Chelsea don't have to worry about that as much. But yeah, I think it's been a very interesting game from a tactical perspective. I think it's a game where Arsenal have done really well to take advantage of those moments. And again, I think it's players in great form, and Chelsea haven't done much with their opportunities. So yeah, P57319 says Kadina. I'm gonna have to find a different name because reading all the numbers every time is getting difficult. Says Kadina and Katie have been embarrassing. What have you thought of Arsenal and what have you thought of the game so far?
Yeah, I think that there's goals in this game, and I think that is something that will concern Arsenal more than it will concern Chelsea. I mean, I think
not if they score a third.
I know, but I think that from an Arsenal point of view, they'll be very happy to take this result into the second leg next week. I think that, there's Slager's got to notice the warning signs. McCabe is getting undone way too easily by Alyssa Thompson on that far side. I mean, 3 or 4 times. Thompson's just blast past. I mean, it's not even a contest. The first one, McCabe dove in and got it wrong, and then the second times, the last few times, she's tried to stand her up, and Thompson's just blast past her, and I think that it then puts pressure on Kadina because Kadina's then got a cover for her. So I do have empathy for Kadina a little bit, but equally she has also struggled. I mean, she did well to block the initial Thompson effort, although the block did take it goalwards. But yeah, Arsenal got to notice the warning signs. There's goals left in this game. Whether they go towards Arsenal or Chelsea, be interesting. Chelsea have got to be better in front of goal. Arsenal cannot. If Arsenal give up the same opportunities to Chelsea that they did in the first half, Chelsea will get at least 1 in this game. It's just whether Arsenal respond.
At some point, something's got to go for Chelsea. But 45 minutes to play here then at the Emirates. Can Arsenal put this tie out of sight before the second leg next week? Or can Chelsea keep it firmly alive? As you say, it feels like there's still goals in this game. It's been a feisty one so far. It's been a tasty one so far. Both sides have had opportunities. The difference has been Arsenal have taken theirs. And Chelsea have missed theirs. That been the difference maker so far. I didn't think there was a change by the time, but it does look like Arsenal appearing over at their bench. Definitely no changes for Chelsea, though.
Is Kadena there?
Arsenal potentially a change here in the back line. It's going to be Taylor Hines for Leia Kadena. So presumably putting McCabe centre-half? Or Fox centre-half? Would you not have just done Hines for McCabe? Unless Kadena's feeling a knock after her horrible injury in the penalty area that saw the goal get disallowed.
That's an interesting decision. I think it's a more secure and defensive decision, but I think it's a defensive decision, but does it make them more secure?
I don't necessarily. I think what it does give them is potentially less of a danger in transition, but Hines and McCabe defending the same side of the pitch?
I'm not sure about that.
So Chelsea have got to target it. Chelsea, McKay's playing centre half.
Wow.
Chelsea have to target that.
That's, I think. Oh, we're underway.
We're back underway here at the Emirates. Arsenal get us back underway. And it is now with McCabe in this centre half position. Ball sent forwards long. Under no challenge. Heading it back the other way. It drops now midfield for Stina Blackstenius. And a nice combination with Mead. And Blackstenius gets the wrong side of Germa. Takes aim. And too wide of the mark. Too wide of the goal there and unable there to really threaten Hampton with a good save.
Yeah, Chelsea cannot afford to, we'll keep saying it, they can't afford to concede again, not the start of the second half they needed. But yeah, that's an interesting call. Hines should be able to deal with Thompson better, but the risk will be is that if she doesn't, suddenly you've got Thompson running at McCabe in a much more central area.
I think Hines is better in terms of recovery pace and that will help, but I actually think as a 1v1 defender, I don't think she's as good as McCabe.
Yeah.
Nice, a ball pass out, and James gets in front of it. Cuthbert now trying to wriggle away a shooting opportunity, and Arsenal let off the hook again there. As Chelsea press high, but can't make the turnover count.
Really poor pass from Borba.
Caldente carries it forwards. A strong challenge from Walsh and Berman. Back to Naomi Girma.
Chelsea have got the one thing Chelsea can't do is panic or rush. Yes, it's a 2-goal lead, but at the end of the day, I mean, I predicted 1-0 Arsenal because I think from a Chelsea point of view, they'd take a 1-goal deficit with the four, especially with the result as it stands at the moment. Yeah. Chelsea don't need to rush. Not conceding again and picking up 1 goal.
Losing 2-0 is winnable. 3-0 though, it just isn't. James carries it forwards, looking to take on Ruben Moy, fires to the near post. And there's a good save from Annika Borba. Gets across well. Again, I think a bit too wide there to seriously threaten the goal. And Ruben Moy just well to stand Lauren James up.
But I don't mind that. Yeah, Chelsea haven't had a shot on target in the game. Bombastor's first thing in the team talk would have been get out there and have a shot on target. And within 2 minutes, Lauren James has done that. So already, it's good from Chelsea. Just, I mean, maybe it wasn't on target. Might have not been actually going on target, but it's a shot.
Like it, to be fair.
Yeah.
Arsenal now looking to play out. Thompson does well, and Bronze stepping into the challenge, and a bit clumsy between herself and Cal. Then say referee happy to continue. You think with 2 players in the deck, you just give a drop ball or something there. But Arsenal coming forwards. Mead.
No one's dropped in for
now.
Bronze.
Hines. Thompson has.
Oh, yeah.
Just tucked in. Kelly comes inside. And Cuthbert does well to get back in there. And Bronze recovering. Wins back possession and gives it away. But Chelsea get away with it as Kelly can't get that under her control. Now Germa in possession and just letting her teammates have a breather.
Yeah. As I say, Chelsea don't need to be silly. Don't need to overplay it. A 2-0 loss from this point wouldn't be horrendous. And, you nick a goal there, suddenly it's a 1-goal margin.
Yeah.
But they cannot be caught going for the game.
Kat says, I can't believe these guys are not criticising Germa. I think she's not been the worst defender in the Chelsea. She's been the best defender, arguably, in the Chelsea backline, which doesn't say much, but not the highest point of criticism for me. Okay, trying to cut that ball back. It's blocked well. Arsenal corner.
Yeah, I think, she's recovering from injury. She's played well.
I think Buchanan's looked lost, but again, recovering from a major injury.
Bourbon's
struggling, I think, with the pace of the game. I think, Bourbon's a little inexperienced, and as you say, I think is struggling with that position. Isn't really offering the attacking output. I would consider bringing Carnereid on for her, putting Baltimore at left back.
Or you bring on
if you can get Baltimore to do the defensive job. Yeah, that's also the option. Get Baltimore to do that defensive job.
Yeah. It's a more attacking change, but it still keeps you roughly the same.
Here is Mead. Can she fashion an opportunity to Caldente? And
Oh,
that's
wow.
not the delivery Mariona Caldente would have envisioned.
Chelsea really haven't reacted to these short corners.
No.
That's the second time where Arsenal have gone short and Thompson's the only one that's gone. You've left her leaves Thompson in a 2-on-1 every time. And yeah, luckily, Calente's final delivery was very, very poor. And she asked the question of herself there as to what on earth happened.
Now with Villa Berman. I think Chelsea's wingers have struggled a bit as well. I mean, Baltimore's been awful.
Yeah.
Absolutely awful again today. I think even if you're not going to make a change in the back line to bring Carnegie on, you've got to bring Carnegie on soon because Baltimore is having an absolute mare out there.
At least Thompson's, taken players on and got the wrong side of McCabe a few times. Bolton hasn't touched the ball. She pushed Mead over about 3 times.
That's all she's got.
That's her contribution to the game.
She's made 4 passes, 9 touches.
Wow.
Baltimore's done nothing.
That is not good enough. Here we go. There's 5, 6,
7, 8.
Oh, there you go.
And 1 pass. Well done, Sonny Baltimore. Back in the game. Nuskin into Germa.
That's almost double her touches in one moment.
Germa, again, looking those forward options into Sonny Baltimore, holding the ball up well. Now on a mission to see how many touches he can get. Knocks it down the line. James battling with Wooben Moy. That's a fantastic tackle.
Wow.
From Lotte Wooben Moy. Strong challenge from Sonny Baltimore. Here commits another foul. Couple more touches from Baltimore, but then makes up for it with a stupid foul.
I mean, she's now completed only 2 more passes and she has committed fouls.
Yeah. Not ideal.
It's not good enough. I mean, how injured is Carnegie? I think you throw her on now.
Plus, as Bright is a big miss for you lot. Nobody controlling the defence. They don't know when to push or drop and all look very passive.
Ooh.
I disagree. Bjorn's the big miss. Someone to command the defence. Someone who would, when fit, is fantastic at being able to deal with the threat of attacking players. Is good at being strong, ball through the lines, looking for Russo, cut out well by Buchanan. Good at being strong, but has the recovery pace as well. A proper modern defender, able to do both. And such an important part of the Chelsea defence. This big reason why Chelsea have been so leaky this season was, I think, an over-reliance on Bjorn.
Yeah, I think I agree with Chelsea missing the organisational element and the mental side of the game from Bright. But yeah, I think that that she would then also become a liability in her own right. Yeah, it's just...
It's Russo. I just don't see the end game for players like Walsh when in a game like this, she's just not able to be involved. I'm sure Chelsea can build a system where they are playing really nice possession-based football in the league, and Walsh is right at the heart of that. There's that sort of metronome. She's had some great games this season, but when in a game against Arsenal, you are completely out of it. Chelsea they need to bring in a defence midfielder who is just someone who can break up the play. Because they don't have that. Walsh isn't a Hasegawa who can do it both. She's a bit of a luxury player. And Cuthbert works hard alongside her. But in a game like today, when you need Cuthbert pressing high up the pitch as well, she can't do both jobs. You need a player that has Keira Walsh's ability on the ball, but is a bit more physical and able to break up the play. Caldente feeding the left-hand side. Here's Taylor Hines. Back now to McCabe. Chelsea haven't really got forwards at all in this second half yet. I think a focus on not conceding has been paramount over trying to battle back. Russo gets in now. Big save from Anna Hampton, and Walsh done way too easy. Blackstenius, it's blocked. And a bit of a mess there as Hampton claims it at last. But that is so weak from Keira Walsh.
Yeah, really poor again. Just Kelly, and I don't really know what she does. Just steps in and gets completely done by the dummy from Russo. Gets spun so easily. There's a massive let-off for Chelsea. A big save for Hampton. Not the start of the second half Chelsea would have expected at all. And Arsenal in a really good position. Just controlling the tempo of the game. And they're the only ones having chances at the moment.
Here's Germa. Phil says someone like Jean-Francois. No, she's not physical enough. Here's Walsh. Back now to Germa. I'm not sure that wasn't really a foul on Villa Berman, but don't expect much from this referee this evening. Buchanan does really well under pressure there. Plays out fantastically. Khadija Buchanan now bronze. Lifting it up the line for the first time. They're finally targeting the left-hand side of this defence. Ruben Moy gets across well to cover. McCabe was high and Hines wasn't getting back in. Great defending from Ruben Moy to cover. Chelsea playing a bit more positively now. Here's Walsh into James. James finds a pocket of space. There's just no options there, though, for Lauren James. Tries to play it into Thompson, not on the same wavelength. Loses the ball. Now with Ruben Moy.
Needs a moment of magic for Chelsea. Someone like Lauren James has got to come up with something special. Just to try and...
Yeah.
Because Arsenal are doing well, but if Chelsea can get momentum and get a goal, suddenly the state of the game and the momentum just flips into Chelsea's favour.
Walsh. James again. Great hold up here from Lauren James. And now Viola Berman. Back to Germa. Great switch to the play to find Bronze. And they've got space on this right-hand side to attack into. Chelsea Bronze lifts it in there. No intended target for that one. Walsh wins it back in midfield. Russo wins the second ball, though. Germa heads away. But it falls to Mead, who can lift it forwards for Stina Blackstenius. And now back to Emily Fox.
Russo's won that battle against Walsh every single time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just difficult. Difficult for Kira Walsh. Another below par performance.
Now with Mead, and that's a pass back to Borba, which is bobbling up in the air. It's cleared away. Berman wins the header. Drops now for Nuskin, who can't quite get there. And it's cleared away. Bronze picks up on the loose pass. Now back with Buchanan. Thought about a switch to the left-hand side with Baltimore. Coming to the right instead. Here's Thompson on the touchline. Inside to Bronze. And losing possession. Strong challenge from Bronze. Goes for an Arsenal throw.
Yeah. Better from Chelsea. The heart of the pitch, at least.
At long last, a change come for Chelsea. And it is going to be Germa making way for Carnery. So that will see a reshuffle across the board. Berman to left centre half. Baltimore to left back. Thompson moves from right wing to left wing. And Carnery onto this right-hand side.
Yeah. Not performance related. Purely fitness related.
Yeah.
Germa hasn't. That's the maximum that Germa's got in the tank, really.
Yeah, struggling after picking up an injury on international duty. Throwing now for Chelsea.
This is Carnery played well, I thought, in the first half against London City. Chelsea needed to step up again.
Caldente round the corner. Hines tries to go down the line. And now Viola Berman. Here's Khadija Buchanan. Cuthbert. Buchanan.
And also it gives Chelsea now two sides to attack down rather than just nothing from Sunday Baltimore.
Yeah, it should hopefully. Right, they'll aim to stretch the Arsenal backline more now with a bit of width on both flanks. And now Thompson on her favoured side could be dangerous. Lovely turn from Nuskin. And now can release Thompson or against Fox. That's always going to be difficult to get that ball through there. And Borba clearing it long. Buchanan will let that bobble through to Hannah Hampson. Chelsea can build up again from this point. Starting to control the game now a little bit in the Arsenal half. But they need a goal to show for it. Carnery takes on Hines. Beats her. Now inside to Cuthbert. Back to Bronze. Cuthbert again. Again, doesn't like the forward options. And it's back to Buchanan. To Berman now across the back line. Looking to the left-hand side. Wide. Baltimore holding the width. Now Nuskin. Back to Berman. Buchanan to Bronze. Now Cuthbert. Battles away well. Bronze picks up on the loose ball. Here's Lauren James, who can dance inside with possession. Does well to wriggle her way through. Trying to play it into Cuthbert. McCabe just about clearing it away. Carnery keeps it alive now on the edge. Here's Walsh to James. Back towards Carnery on the right-hand side. Tries to play it low. And Hines gets in front of it. Falls back for Lauren James. Wants to come forwards. Does well to skip past Russo towards the back post. And now does no one in a Chelsea shirt get there?
Yeah. Again, missing that central figure to aim for. It's brilliant from Lauren James. Lovely skill to skip past Russo. Puts the ball in there. And it's just beyond Cuthbert, who was running in towards it. Much better from Chelsea. Really good reaction. I think the game plans are starting to become a bit more obvious. Chelsea looking to get on the ball, make things happen. Arsenal just dropping deeper and protecting what they have.
Kelly making way, Olivia Smith onto the field, which is not what Chelsea want to see. And every time you watch back that Kelly goal, Hampton's got to do better. Bron's got to get out to it quicker.
Just bounces under Hampton.
Tough few weeks for Hampton. Big mistake in the game against Brighton. Big mistake in this game. 2-0 salvageable. Chelsea need to keep it that way. Another goal really does make it game on next week, but the fear will be that pushing too hard would give Arsenal an opportunity to find a third, and you really would think that is enough for them to get through this tie. Yeah. Half an hour to play. Russo dropping to receive. Caldente round the corner. Brilliant from Berman. Shrugs off Blackstenius and wins back possession. Now Cuthbert into Walsh. Walsh wider to Carneries. Carneries comes back inside. Walsh turns nicely. And now with Buchanan. Across the back line. Into Berman. Lovely pass inside to Nuskun, who doesn't make a good job of controlling it, but does squeeze a pass to Cuthbert. He wanted to find Bronze, but it's not going to come off there. Buchanan across the back line. It's Berman. Back to Hannah Hampton. Bronze tries to chest that past Hines. That was almost fantastic. Taylor Hines does well there to get ahead to it.
Very inventive from Lucy Bronze. It looked for a minute it had gone over the head of Taylor Hines, but not quite.
Ball down the line looking for Carnery. Hines has enough there just to see it out. Arsenal goal kick.
Oh, massive half an hour. See, I think it's one of those where it's really hard to... Both sides will be happy. Both sides will be decently content with how this sets up next week. But obviously Arsenal would love to put it to bed and Chelsea would love to close the deficit at the very least. So it's a very difficult game to manage for both teams.
Buchanan tries to find Nuskun and can't. Now Smith on the ball on the left-hand side, needing support. Back to Caldente, Hines, now McCabe. Hines, Russo, now Mariona Caldente. Now Mead can't keep that in touch. Nice lofted pass from Caldente. Mead couldn't adjust quick enough though.
I mean, I'm not sure who Bolton wanted to throw it to here.
I think just going to look up the line surely here.
I mean, not a single midfielder has made themselves available. There we go.
Now Nuskin has, and she launches it straight out of play. Sure, she's got the line.
Yeah.
Again, they're just missing height to work with, but I don't see how that's a better option than throwing up the line. Hopefully Fox heads out of play and work from there. McCabe lifting it forwards. Blackstenius to Russo. Buchanan gets back in there. Great tackle. Bronze. Trapped out of her own area. Now Caldente. And there is a foul in there. A little bit fortunate. To be fair, I thought there may have been a foul earlier in the sequence, but what is Lucy Bronze doing there?
Yeah, makes a mess of it. And to be fair, she's absolutely thrown herself to the floor there.
I mean, to be fair. Smith grabs her, but
that's brilliant from Bronze.
Dive to the ground.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those from a referee point. Just that should be let play.
Skirting down the line, looking for Thompson. Tries to cut in. Does well. Thompson now looking for support. Cuthbert out to the right hand side with Bronze. Swings it in there, looking for Cuthbert. Headed away. Crosses are just not going to work.
No.
Look at who's in the box. Is there anyone in there you think is going to win a header? Hines. Clearing it long, bouncing through. Bronze will keep it in touch, and Chelsea can now look to attack again. Berman. Nusken. Lofted to the right-hand side. Lovely lift into Carnery. Carnery now has Bronze in support and will play it to Lucy Bronze. And Bronze comes inside. Now Carnery wants to take on Taylor Hines. Carnery going down the line. Now that's brilliant from Hines. Sticks with her. Makes a strong challenge in the box, but gets it right. Corner now for Chelsea.
Really good from both involved. Carnery does well to just keep shimmying inside to give her space to burst right. And just when she thought she had the beating of Hines, is a great tackle from the Arsenal fullback. Chelsea corner and set pieces at this point of the game have got to be accurate from Chelsea. They've got to make them count.
Baltimore lifts it in there. Header drops for Nusken. Can't quite turn it goal. It's going to drop now for Lauren James. She can shoot from this kind of range, of course. Oh! And Lauren James with a magnificent strike that gives Chelsea a lifeline in this tie. You can't give Chloe Kelly much time in the edge of the box. You definitely can't give Lauren James any time from any distance, because she'll produce a strike like that. And Chelsea are firmly back in this tie.
Ridiculous from Lauren James. I said it earlier. It's going to need a moment of magic for Chelsea from someone like Lauren James. And this is just absurd. Similar range to Kelly earlier, if not further out. And just loops it into the top left corner. That is ridiculously good from Lauren James. Borba didn't stand a chance.
And I mean, what can Arsenal do?
How do you defend that?
They put pressure on James. She's not unmarked like Chloe Kelly. They put her under pressure and she just knocks it in the top corner. Incredible. Incredible from Lauren James. Arsenal 2, Chelsea 1. Arsenal coming back now.
Chelsea have got to
They
settle.
know a 2-1 lead isn't really enough to see this tie out.
Chelsea have got to settle.
Buchanan does well. Here's Walsh round the corner into Nusken. Chelsea would love a second. They really should have one from earlier in the game. But if they could get a second, wouldn't that just make the referee's decision look even more frustrating?
Yeah, and I mean Arsenal will be frustrated because the second half game plan was clear for them to get their 2-goal lead back, to Stamford Bridge next week. And to be fair, they've defended well. They dealt with the corner. They got it clear. But when Lauren James does that, I mean, you just got to hold your hands up and say fair play.
Ball lifted down the line, and Thompson works hard to get there. Can't quite manage it. Out for an Arsenal throw, but it does seem like the small section of Chelsea support there. The travelling fans do have a bit of momentum now. Do have a bit of belief. There's one woman there who really believes.
I love that.
Yeah.
But yeah, Arsenal again. Look, first ball, Arsenal contact. Second ball, Arsenal get it away.
Fourth ball, Arsenal contact.
I mean, that is just...
What can you do to stop that?
I mean, yeah. How does she do that? How does anyone do that? We've all played football before. How do you do that?
As Shamandil says, that is her weak foot. Doesn't have a weak foot, does she, Lauren James?
I mean, I feel for Arsenal because how do you deal with that?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. There's not much you can do about that one.
But now it's just shifted because this is where aggregate football, this is where two-legged football is a weird phenomenon. Because for Arsenal, they would go into the second leg with a lead, but it is only 1 goal and Chelsea had home advantage. So what do you do now with your Slagers? Do you protect the lead? Do you try and use your home advantage and get another goal?
Arsenal leading 2-1. Chelsea need not to concede and Arsenal need to score. And that's the fun of aggregate football.
I mean,
as much as Chelsea would love a leveler,
I said at the start,
2-1 is a game they can turn around in the second leg.
I said at the start of the stream, Chelsea will take a 1-goal loss here, especially out of form. I think based on, if you put it into the context of the form of both sides, this is a better result for Chelsea than it is for Arsenal. If you put it in, if you also add a bit of common sense into that, having the lead on aggregate in any tie is always an advantage. So I think it balances out at the moment. But that Arsenal don't want to be bounced out. Arsenal want to have a proper advantage going into not just a score advantage.
I mean, Arsenal obviously still hold the cards going into the second
Exactly.
leg with a 2-1 lead, but a 3-1 lead, I think, gives them a real cushion then going to Stamford Bridge. I think they'll be aware that City had a 3-goal?
2-goal
lead.
Was it?
Yeah,
2-0?
yeah. Chelsea won 3-0. But yeah, they had a 2-goal lead, and the bridge and the atmosphere that evening.
It was over by half time.
Exactly. It really spurred Chelsea on, and Chelsea knew how to manage that tie. So, yeah, I don't think Arsenal are under any illusions that the tie's done. And they'd love another goal in this game. Caldente.
But then the priority is they can't concede again.
Absolutely not.
Because then it's a level playing field and Chelsea got the home advantage.
Back in there brilliantly by Bronze, and Buchanan will clip it forwards, and James gets it under her control and just wriggles away out of trouble. Caldente brings her down. And there is an argument for a yellow card, but I don't think the referee is going to award one.
It's just ridiculous. I mean, I'd love someone to take a screenshot of that. 4 Arsenal players surrounding her, and she comes away with a free kick. Yeah. I mean, it'd been cooler if she got out, but yeah, massive 20 minutes now.
Berman. Nusken. Now Baltimore. Nusken. Lifting it over the top. Lauren James chesting it down fantastically. Now to Thompson, who wants to take on Wubben-Moy. Back to James. Baltimore.
I think Arsenal will now just try to protect what they've got. They want to go in with the lead.
I think to a certain extent they're also trying to bait Chelsea into overcommitting.
I wonder whether in 20 minutes' time Slagers are going to look back on that half-time change.
Can't quite find Nuscombe. It's back now all the way to Borba. Why'd you say that?
I don't know. I just think that the half-time change mixed with the mentality. I get that they had a 2-goal lead, and your natural instinct is to protect it. But I think with the way the game was going, with the way Chelsea weren't being clinical, and Arsenal were putting Chelsea. I mean, look at the start of the second half. Arsenal nearly got a 3rd goal. I just think they've got a little bit too negative.
Yeah, I don't think the sub makes. I agree that there's a bit of a mentality shift for Arsenal. I think they've definitely dropped a bit deeper, but I would argue the sub doesn't make. I think the sub's actually arguably more aggressive. You're putting a quite attacking player at centre half to try and have a bit more passing range and cut out the mistakes. Which, to be fair, they've not made mistakes defensively in the second half. Arsenal. Berman. So I agree that I think the mentality has just put them a little bit too deep, and I think the game was there for the taking.
Yeah.
But I'd also think that Slagers saw what happened in the first half, and I think that she's a very intelligent coach and realised that actually, yes, they had a 2-goal advantage, but they gave up some great opportunities.
But I still think they would have. I think they'd have if it had played out the same way, they'd have probably walked out with something like a 3-1 advantage, and they might still walk out with a 3-1 advantage. So it's hard. We'll have to wait until the final whistle.
Silly there from James. Got to be careful on a yellow card. But I didn't think there was too much in that. Just. Again, Wubben-Moy's not really going anywhere into a crowd of bodies. Just let that happen.
But that's the second one where she's running back in and committing a foul. You don't need to do that.
Yeah.
And Arsenal now with another set piece, and this would be a big blow.
You can't sub off Lauren James, which is on a yellow. You've got to think about that. In the game.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Of course, that could have been a yellow. It's not a second yellow card offence. I think that's heads again. Yeah, on its own, that could have been a yellow card.
Yeah.
I think the ref being intelligent.
She found common sense at half time.
That's in a locker room. Arsenal left. There's some common sense. Free kick. McCabe delivers well. Buchanan meets it. It's not cleared away. Nusken does get it out. Wubben-Moy lifting it over the top. And Hampton will claim it without issue.
And Katisha Buchanan heading that directly down to the penalty spot.
Hampton wanting to find a bit of directness here, introduce a bit of verticality into this game, but there's not really an option.
Conditions have definitely made things difficult. I think that's it. It's suddenly lots of rain and wind.
Pass, Berman can't get under control. Down the line to Baltimore. The shift to bring Thompson onto the left-hand side, Baltimore into wing back, into fullback just made Chelsea better. Baltimore still carrying Sondi Baltimore. Can she let fly here? Does eventually. It's not really the position to shoot from, but I don't mind it for Sondi Baltimore. Yeah. Great carry.
Where she was going to shoot initially was the right idea. She then needs to realise that once she took it further, it was the wrong idea. But yeah, brilliant carry, just pinning Arsenal back, and that's what Thompson, because Thompson went with the run, and Fox had to go with her, and it just opened the space up for Baltimore. And again, Arsenal tried to play out. Bronze robs it, but gives it straight back to Russo, who has now released me down the right.
Ball delivered in, looking for Blackstone. It's fantastic from Villa Berman. And Hampton, great goalkeeping, brave goalkeeping, comes out and claims it.
Got to go, Foxes. Oh,
She might hit that. I think just being a bit conservative. Doesn't want this game to come end to end.
Yeah.
Chelsea have controlled the match for most of it. First half, especially, they had more of the possession. Second half's been a little more even, but still, Chelsea have had the longest spells, I think.
We're in a bit of a weird phenomenon where I think both sides are kind of content with a 2-1 result.
I don't know. I don't know if that's the case, but
Not content, but
I think both sides imagine the risk.
Yeah.
Chelsea can't afford to concede again.
The reward isn't.
Arsenal can't afford to concede again.
Yeah.
While they both love a goal because it makes their job infinitely easier or much easier in the second leg, neither side can afford to concede. So it's about managing that risk, and both teams playing quite risk averse. It's why we're getting this weird sort of cagey game now, where Arsenal don't want to come forwards too aggressively. Chelsea don't want to come forwards too aggressively. She's sort of just getting 4 attackers and Bronze doing her best to try and change that.
There's so many of those moments where it's just I think fans either way will just be like heavy intakes of breath every now and again when one player just miscues it, or they're both sides are feeling it. It's incredible how 22 professionals, 22 players that have all been there, won various competitions, are all feeling the pressure.
Buchanan clipping up the line, and James losing out in there, and it's flicked forwards. Now here's Blackstenius, and Chelsea just a little bit open here, and Buchanan's committed, and here's Russo. Let's fly, and Arsenal have their goal. Chelsea too open. Buchanan steps up. It leaves the space for Russo, who realised he didn't have much time. And a brilliant touch and finish from Alessia Russo. And that's where Chelsea have just mentioned there those hairy moments. Commit a bit too much forwards. Buchanan steps up way too aggressively. I think you can let Blackstenius go there.
Yeah. Oh.
And it's fantastic from Russo.
Absolutely brilliant from Alessia Russo. Flicks it up with the back of her foot and just half volleys it into the bottom corner. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant technique.
Nothing Hampton can do about that one, certainly.
A player of the experience of Khadijah Buchanan should not make that error at this point in the game.
It's just too open. It's way too open from Chelsea overall. I get why Buchanan jumps because Blackstenius, if not, that's her player, but no one's going to get back into Russo. You've got to just sit in.
If Blackstenius hits it from there and scores, and you just stand there and applaud.
Just makes the second leg so much harder for Chelsea. They had to think about that. They've overpressed it. And Chelsea just way too open there, and Arsenal take full advantage. Good finish from Russo. Bronze. Cuthbert. Well, jumped in on by Caldente.
Surprised Arsenal are sticking with the attacking changes that they're planning to make.
Maybe they seek to strike while the iron's hot. Marnham and Holmberg, they get a 4th. It really is tie over.
Yeah. And again, Chelsea are now in the position where they need a goal, but they can't afford to concede again.
Mead makes way. It's actually quite competitive, I think, both those changes.
I wonder if that wasn't going to happen. And then now it has. But we'll see.
Might have anyway. To be fair, I think they were at the 2-1. They weren't really pushing for the goal. Chelsea have handed it to them. Too open. Big mistake. Blackstenius has come off. Marnham is leading the line.
Fair enough. 13 minutes. Chelsea will now be weighing up how important is the goal. Is trying to get another goal more important now than not conceding a 4th?
Lucas says, told you Buchanan was average. We should have got rid of her. Yes, no, I mean, we forget that she's just come back from an ACL injury, that she's been out for over a year. Yeah, no, I think she's just a terrible footballer. That's why she's struggling tonight. Not the fact that she's played 2 matches before this game. Thompson trying to play out. Here's Caldente out to the right-hand side. Holmberg. Delivery into the side netting. I think Chelsea should manage this game better at the end there. Just makes next Wednesday much more difficult. They can still turn it around. We saw them do it last year, but it just makes life difficult. Berman now to Hampton. Buchanan. Back now to Hampton. Berman. Chelsea got anything to bring off the bench at this point? Arsenal made 4 subs, now Chelsea just the 1. They could look at Captain, everyone else. is either injured or 18 or 16 or 17. So, yeah, not loads of options.
Yeah, I think Chelsea will. Yeah, again, it's a difficult position to be in.
Hey, White says Chelsea should have settled for 2 and play conservatively. I do agree. I think just pushing too hard there. Arsenal were settling in and they just looked to capitalise. Chelsea overcommitted and gave them that opportunity. Can't read. Cuthbert trying to come forwards now, and Caldente does well to block it.
Again, Chelsea got to use corners. Lauren James's goal came from a corner. Can they? I mean, not directly, but work its way there somehow. Chelsea have got to make set pieces count. Baltimore over this one. Again, plenty of threat for Chelsea. Got to pick someone out.
Ball delivered in towards the front post, and no one quite able to turn it home. Here is James. Blocked. And here comes Berman. Back now to Thompson. And they've stopped the game there. And McCabe's got back up.
Credit to McCabe because she could have stayed down there, rolled around and got the game stopped. But she's just got up and got on with it. But the referee decided to stop it. Absolutely fine. Yeah, didn't hit her face. So a little bit less credit, but some no.
Thompson, ball in, bounces through, and it's headed away well. Bronze trying to fight Carnareed. Caldente clipping it up the line. But Cannon will come across and just shield it from Marnham. Now, Berman on the ball. Baltimore. Now to Alyssa Thompson, wants to come forwards with the ball. Great switch to the play into Bronze. Tries to find Carnery. That was always going to be an impossible pass.
Just forcing it a little bit now, Chelsea.
Yeah, it's the desperation after they conceded a goal. They really shouldn't have conceded. Because now they know they really need one to keep it much more manageable. That's Stamford Bridge.
Yeah, because it just puts Arsenal in a position where all they've got to do is score next week, really. Chelsea changes. Cuthbert's coming off.
I don't think that's necessarily the wrong thing. Cuthbert's not had the most incredible game of her career. And I assume that with Vika captain, she seems to be the only player left on the bench. And it is indeed Vika captain then. And she brings something to this Chelsea attack. I mean, what do Chelsea do now? Do they consolidate and go for 2 next week? Do they try and get one now, make next week a more manageable task?
So difficult.
The goals really killed them. 3 goals. All Chelsea's doing, really. Clumsy defending on a free kick. Messing around with it at the back. And giving the ball away cheaply. And a brilliant strike from Chloe Kelly, which was avoidable. Hannah Hampton really should have saved it, and Bronze really should have put pressure on it. Coupled with some big misses, especially in the early stages. It's just made life difficult now for Chelsea next week. The team out of form. It's been a good performance, but they haven't found the goals, and Arsenal have been clinical in front of goal. Not had to create much. They've capitalised well on Chelsea mistakes. And that sees them lead 3-1 on the night. And makes it a very... I mean, if they defend better than this next week, then they should be okay. But they should have Catley back. Potentially even Leah Williamson.
Yes. Difficult for Chelsea now. I think 2 is achievable. 1 is very doable. 3 goal deficit is near.
It's 2 in normal time. It's definitely doable. It's just whether you can not make a big enough mistake in that time for that Arsenal score. And whether you can take those chances if you can create them. We saw they had the ability to do that today, but one back well by Vika Kaptein. Nuskin in there. Carrying inside now. Nuskin to Kaptein. Trying to find a forward option. There just really isn't one for Chelsea. It's punted clear by Wubben-Moy. Buchanan wins it on the halfway line. Walsh now does well to hold on to possession. Looking for support back out to Baltimore. There's Bronze. James on the touchline, coming inside now. Lauren James. Give and go with Kaptein. This is fantastic from James, spurring Chelsea forwards. Cross is blocked by Hines. Another corner for Chelsea.
Brilliant from James. Just weaving through the lines and winning a corner and trying to get Chelsea something from this game. Making things happen. And again, another corner. Can Chelsea keep the pressure on and find a second goal in this game? Try and make something happen in the final 5 minutes.
Baltimore, poor delivery.
Got to be better.
Caldente carrying it out. Switches the play. Holmberg breaking away. Buchanan thought about the foul. Still coming forward here. Connery comes across. And they've nullified it for the moment, Chelsea, as they retake their shape. Wubben-Moy. Little. Back now with McCabe out towards Hines. Good challenge from Berman. Just forces Russo back. Russo now trying to slot through Smith. This one back by Bronze. Hampton clears. Baltimore bringing it down well. Now Walsh and Marnham. That is just sending someone on to kick players. Marnham just lumping one into Walsh there. No attempt to get the ball. Surprise, not a yellow card.
Yeah. Good. Just knocked round the corner from Walsh and then gets taken out.
Berman. Now wide to Baltimore. Here's Villa Berman. Walsh back to Berman. Hampton. Buchanan. Now Bronze. Carrying down the line. And Smith trying to get back in there. Bronze does well. Pokes it to Carnereid. Can she make something happen here? Carnereid wants to take on Hines. Puts it in there. Headed away brilliantly again by Fox. Berman comes onto the ball and it's a foul from Alessia Russo. Arsenal just doing well at the moment to disrupt Chelsea as best they can.
Yeah, they're just slowing it down, taking the pace out of the game.
Again, little confused as how that's not a yellow card. But I mean, it shouldn't be with this referee. Not a good performance by any definition. Hines poking it down the line. And Bronze tries to get there again. A bit of a rugby challenge from Smith. But I think it will be an Arsenal throw.
Yeah. Just doesn't feel like Chelsea are going to get another one in this game. Which is going to rely on another brilliant night at Stamford Bridge.
Yeah. It's doable. From what I've seen today, it's doable. It's just too many mistakes from individuals at the back.
Yeah.
Too many players out of form and just not getting over the green in moments. 2 against the post early on. A perfectly good goal disallowed by the referee and VAR not checking it or checking it and somehow coming to the conclusion it's not a goal. James dispatches another one and Borba parrying it wide. James is keeping Chelsea's hopes alive here.
Brilliant. Again from James, the only player that looks like she can actually make something happen at the moment. Really good from Lauren James. Back to goal. Just rolls the ball past Caldente on the turn, looking for the bottom corner and Borba as well to parry it out for a corner. But again, Lauren James just trying to make things happen. Brilliant.
It's a corner and it's no one else at the moment for Chelsea is making things happen like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
James over this corner. The referee is going to have a chat about pushing. Well, it doesn't really matter because even if Chelsea don't push Arsenal, she'll give it.
Oh.
Ball floated in from James. It bounces through and a good claim from Borba. Header on target, but Borba can shuffle across and makes a save.
Yeah, Nuskin does well to get away from Fox. Header on target, but easy claim for Borba.
Nuskin tries to play it forwards. Here's Thompson back to Nuskin. Back now to Berman. Through the lines into Captain, holds it up well. Here's Thompson. Back down the line towards Vika Captain. And well, Fox outpacing her. Now back to Ruben Moy. Fox. Good pressure here, so if Chelsea can make it count. Ruben Moy launching it out of play. Chelsea throwing as we tick towards the additional time period. Nuskin, Baltimore. 3 minutes of additional time. It's back now with Berman. And here's Nuskin. Nice turn. And here come Chelsea. Captain. Back towards the run of Nuskin. Cuts it back and it's blocked. Another Chelsea corner.
Again, good football from Chelsea. Moving it nicely down that left-hand side. Set pieces haven't really made them count so far, but Nuskin hit the target from the one a moment ago. Can they go one better with this one? James over the ball once again. Goal now would be absolutely massive for Chelsea.
Noran James. Swings it in towards near post. It bounces through. Buchanan pushes it over the line. And Chelsea have a goal back in this game. And the referee is going to check this one again.
Yeah, I think that one will be given as a foul. I think Borba's just been bundled over. I'll have a look here. Flicked on Buchanan. Oh, that's
so annoying. The actual contact that puts the ball in the back of the net is clean. It's just the follow through onto Borba.
Yeah. Can't do that. It's not a nice one either. It's going to hurt for Borba.
Well, it's infuriating after Chelsea had a perfectly good one ruled out, but that is rightfully disallowed.
Oh, ends up catching her in the midriff. That's not a good one. I think she'll be all right. But frustration.
Yeah.
Because she didn't really need to go and try and kung fu kick it. That's the frustration. She didn't really need to do that.
Yeah, infuriating one. Because, yeah, she got the initial contact. That was enough to put it over the line. And, again, it's just moments for Chelsea. 4 now. And Bonpastor's annoyed because it's 4 now that really should have been goals for Chelsea tonight. And Arsenal have taken all of their opportunities.
Yeah.
Well, Chelsea have failed really to take any of them.
Yeah, ball's all right. It's going to hurt, but she'll be fine.
Yeah. Clear foul, just wasn't necessary.
Yeah, I don't know why Buchanan decides to try and
kicked it over the line.
Karate kick the ball into the goal. Yeah, disappointing for Chelsea, who had the ball in the back of the net 3 times as well tonight. 1 should have counted. That one, though, yeah, right decision. Again, but what was funny about that one is the ref didn't give that one. She had to look over at the assistant to get the right decision in the end. It's incredible.
Yeah.
How she was so certain on the Cadena one, which wasn't a foul, but she really hesitated over this one when Borba just got kung fu kicked. There, it's just incredible. But yeah, in one way or another, how Chelsea haven't walked away from this game with only a 1-goal deficit to make up will be very frustrating. And I can't imagine we'll have too much longer left of this game.
No. Here is Buchanan. Trying to clip it up the line. That's out for an Arsenal throw. I mean, you've got to put LJ on corners. You also need her on the edge of the box to score them, but fantastic delivery. And yeah, it's just one of those nights for Chelsea. Chances early on that should have been buried, hit the post. Mistakes at the back. And yeah. Bronze goes up the line. James hits her arm. And assistant referee quick to flag that one.
She's had a moment in the limelight in these last 4 minutes. Yeah, it does hit her arm onto her knee. Not going to matter much this stage.
Unless Chelsea score, it's not going to make a difference. McCabe launches it long. Smith for Russo. Now to the right-hand side. Holmberg. Blocked by Baltimore, and it's the corner flag. Goes for a corner.
Bauble was knocked down for 2 minutes. Come on.
Ref should never be on a Champions League game. Just so poor.
Look,
even
that one for Chelsea, it's the corner flag.
And goes the wrong way. It's just been the case of Chelsea this evening. Corner now for Arsenal. Well, this would kill the tie, and they can really launch everything at it because Chelsea, even if they can win the ball back, aren't going to be given the opportunity to break away.
Chelsea just got to deal with it. Just make first contact with it, and that'll be it. The whistle will go. Are they going to take it short? That seems a bit... No, I can't imagine
Dumbing it. McCabe delivers it in towards the back post. It bounces around. Russo trying to fashion opportunity across the goal. Blocked brilliantly by Carnreid.
What a block.
And that keeps the tie alive, potentially.
Why are we still playing?
Still playing. I can't be asked this, ref. Absolutely killed the tie. Now fanning around with foul throws.
Not even that. Just that the throw wasn't taken. Come on. Just make it up.
Hines down the line to Smith, and there's the final whistle. Full time at the Emirates. Arsenal 3, Chelsea 1. Arsenal took their opportunities. Chelsea missed theirs, not helped by one of the worst refereeing calls we've seen in the Champions League this season. But ultimately, Arsenal more clinical on the day. Chelsea mistakes at the back went punished. And Chelsea couldn't capitalise on Arsenal lapses in judgment. And it's such a shame when people like that we've just seen in the Arsenal
Bloke wearing an undershirt.
get to have a good day.
Thought he was going on.
But that is full time here. Work for Chelsea to do next week. Arsenal, that third goal may well be the important one. It gives them a 2-goal advantage heading into the second leg, and that might be enough for them to see out Chelsea. I thought it was a good performance. I know that Chelsea fans won't be happy to hear that. I don't think Arsenal fans will be happy to hear that. But outside of the sort of 15-minute spell in the first half and capitalising on a mistake in the second, Arsenal didn't offer much tonight, and Chelsea gave them opportunities and couldn't take their own. And it's infuriating in that sense. A moment of magic from James spares it from being a complete disaster, but so many chances missed. James and Thompson should take theirs in the first half. Berman, of course, that should be a goal, and that makes a big difference. But missed opportunity. I think Chelsea could have taken something from that, and instead it's a lot of work to do at the Bridge next week.
Yeah, I think that Russo goal could really prove to be decisive. Or the fact that the disallowed Chelsea goal could prove to be decisive, because I 1 goal margin, is a completely different game, because Chelsea can win that 1-0 and send it to extra time. Needing to win by 2, doable, but hard work. 2 with no reply will be difficult for an out of form Chelsea side, who take on Aston Villa this weekend
on Sunday.
Which, to be fair, you never know what version of Villa you're going to get. So that's a really difficult one to prepare for. I don't know why Chelsea play on the Sunday and
that's the WSL,
and Arsenal play on the Saturday.
Brilliant, isn't it?
But yeah, hey ho, difficult for Chelsea. I think you take the route. I think the Russo goal is the difference there. I think that's the bit that takes, based on how the game was played out. I think 2-1 Arsenal would have been a fair result. I think that third goal's just tipped it. I think that third goal just tipped it over a little bit. But we'll see what happens next week.
Yeah, there we go. Well, work for Chelsea to do next week. We won't be here for that game, but we will be here for the first legs tomorrow. Manchester United taking on Bayern Munich and Real Madrid facing Barcelona. We can't wait for those incredibly close ties. But we'll be back with those tomorrow. And of course, next week we'll be back for the second legs of both the VfL Wolfsburg-Leoness game and the game between Real Madrid and Barcelona. That, though, is everything. Dougie Allison saying, poor decision on goal in first half, never a foul. Poor referee. Arsenal will take it. Of course they will. That is football, isn't it? But when you're down your luck, you get referees like that. That, though, is everything. That goes very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.